On today's part of my take, we're going to talk about Monday Night Football and what happened in Cincinnati on Monday night with Damar Hamlin. We're breaking up the show a little bit. So the first 10 minutes is just going to be me and PFT talking about what transpired. Then we'll go back into the studio and try to give people a normal show. We thought this was the best way to do it. We'll do Hot Seat, Cool Throne. We have Pete Prisco on. We have Max Duggan and Hank as well to do the 2022 Bonk List. So we're trying to break it up and navigate it as best as possible. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends at Coors Light. When you're juggling work, family, and life in general, things can feel chaotic. That's why Coors Light helps you find moments to unwind all year long. Whenever you need a reset, reach for a Coors Light. It's made to chill. Crack open those Coors Lights. The mountains on the can turn blue and the bottles. So there's only one beer out there that's literally made to chill. When it's time to unwind, Coors Light is the beer I reach for. So when you want to hit the reset, grab the beer that's made to chill. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Drizzly or Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/take. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. I've already declared 2023 is the year of Coors Light. It is the beer of 2023. Coors Light is delicious. It is cold. It is refreshing. Get a Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Drizzly or Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/take. CoorsLight.com/take. Check out the beer that's literally made to chill with Coors Light. Okay, let's go. Welcome to part of my take. Today is Wednesday, January 4th, and a little bit something different to start the show. Monday Night Football, Damar Hamlin. I think everyone saw what transpired. We thought the best way to do this show was to break it up. So the first 10, 15 minutes will be just me and PFT talking about it, and then we will go back into the studio with everyone else. And, you know, before we get into Damar, like, I understand some people don't want to laugh right now. It's a very serious thing. We know what our role is, and to, you know, give people a little brevity in their life. Life is not easy, so we thought this was the best way that we could both talk about a serious thing, but also give everyone something to smile about. So, yeah, Monday night was pretty horrific. As we're taping this, it's 9:30 on Tuesday. We tried to wait the majority of the day to hopefully get a good update. The last update we've seen is Damar Hamlin is, in critical condition still, kind of maybe doing better from some of the reports we've seen. It's obviously like we're not going to get an answer anytime soon. But yeah, it was pretty shocking and tragic to watch, and we love football. We know that. I think the thing that PFT, you and I, like, we always, we're huge football fans. We love football, and we have to admit that, like, our livelihood in this show is a lot of it is based on football and what the sport provides for us. So to see that, we're not football players, but we care about a lot of guys in the NFL, and the league is important to us. So to see someone collapse and need CPR on the field it shook me. It shook me bad.
It was scary. It was really, really frightening watching that entire scene play out, and the look on, I saw Josh Allen's face on the sideline, Diggs' face. The players knew almost instantaneously that this was something pretty serious going on, and the sports world kind of came to a stop. Like, nothing else really mattered at that time than making sure he was okay, because, like, as sick as it is, like, as NFL fans, and we do love the NFL, on like a weekly basis, we'll see a player, they break a leg, they tear a ligament, and they get carted off the field, and it's sad, and you feel for them and you think about them, but the show goes on in that moment. And I think what a lot of people saw last night is, like, there's a very clear line where it's a cliche to say that things are bigger than sports. This was a moment where sports literally did not matter. It's like there was a person on the field that was at risk of dying, and according to some reports, may have actually died on the field that they brought back. Now, there's a lot of negative stuff that's going on right now. Like, people are jumping over like Skip for some tweets that he had. Bart Scott said some stuff. I don't really want to get into any of that because it doesn't really help anything. I think that there are some things that we can put a little bit of light on, because the heavy implications, those are self-explanatory. But the medical staff at the game did such a good job. Like, it's unreal. If there are two places that I would want to get severely injured, one would be in an emergency room, like in the waiting room. And then the second would be like on the field at an NFL game, because within like 30 seconds, they have world-class doctors on the field that they were giving CPR almost instantly to him. And that might have been the difference. We don't know what's going to happen, obviously, but that might have been the difference between life and death.
It really is like a credit to modern science and the doctors, like to be able to be there right away, and the tools that we have. And to say something about the negative stuff, I agree with you. I think being on the internet for as long as we've been on the internet, you start to realize a trend that when something tragic happens, people can't just feel grief. They have to feel anger. So it quickly just devolves from, this is a terrible thing that happened, and we should all feel sad and you know, kind of putting it into perspective, right to who said something dumb, let's jump down their throat. And we're not going to like litigate everyone's tweets, but I've noticed that on the internet that people just can't comprehend the really tragic thing that happened. So they're like, well, what else can I do? I can be really angry online and go after people, and it doesn't really help anyone. You know, Ryan Clark said it best, and the whole scene was so crazy to watch, because it's you know, Booger and Schefter and Susie Colbert were put in an impossible spot to basically carry a live broadcast. You saw Booger was very shaken up, and he did an outstanding job. Then they went to Scott Van Pelt and Ryan Clark, and Ryan Clark said it best. He was just like, this is the dark side of the NFL that we don't, you know, as players we try not to think about it, that this does exist, like tragic injuries and really life-altering things. You know, Ryan Shazier on that same field can happen, and you try to like not think about it, and it's a lot of young guys chasing their dream. And he was saying, like, I love football more than anything besides my kids. And so it's not like football's at fault. It's that this is just really, really sad, and it hopefully takes a turn for the better, because you know, Damar Hamlin loved football, and he was chasing his dream. And to have that happen in a freak accident, it's just, you just really, really hope that everything turns out. And you said it exactly right. Like the Bills players, like the players always know before, and you knew right away that it was something different when you saw their faces, and you saw some of them crying, and you saw like even the 5-minute warm up, which we can talk about, but like Josh was just looking out blank face out on the field, and you're like, this is not. They can't play this game. They can't play this game. And I know that people, I mean, in the moment, we're all sitting on our couch, and we see that you can't play the game. I do think there's two things that are happening. NFL clearly, obviously, doesn't really care. Like, they've never prioritized player safety. They say they do, but they don't. But I do think
they prioritize player safety insofar as to the point where it starts to cost them money.
Right. And I think the 5-minute warning thing that warm up thing that everyone is really like hung up on. Thinking about it today, like I don't know if it came from the refs. I don't know. I think what happened in a truly human moment is we've seen really bad things happen on a football field. Ryan Shazier being like, you know, an example. An ambulance takes someone away, and then you go on as normal. And so I think a lot of it was almost like reflex, like this is what we do. You go on the ambulance, and then we start the game back up. And then, you know, Sean McDermott and Zach Taylor, credit to them, and whichever players spoke up, being like, this is not normal. We should not play this. And they made the right decision in the end. So I think that if it took a little too long, you can argue that. But at the end of the day, they didn't play the game, and it's probably credit to the players and the coaches, not the league. But it's still... I'm happy that they were able to get to that conclusion, because I think it would have been very wrong to continue that game.
Yeah, they made the right decision. And according to all the reporting that I've seen, and we saw it when it was happening live, I think we all reacted to it in the moment where they make the announcement. Joe Buck said, I think 4 times on the broadcast that they were being told the game would be restarted in 5 minutes. Troy Vincent from the NFL says that that was never his idea, which could be true. That could be very true, that Troy Vincent and Roger Goodell did not make a call on this, and that it was the officials and the game managers on site that kind of, like you said, went along with what the traditional playbook is for something like this, which is, okay, give the teams 5 minutes to warm up. And we saw Joe Burrow start to throw passes. We saw some of the guys moving around on the sidelines as if they were going to get back in that game. And in that moment, I think everybody with a sense of what just happened understood that you can't play this game. One, it's bigger than a game because there's a man that died on the field. That's literally what we all saw happen. To expect his teammates and everybody else to go out and to try to play a football game after that is foolish. And there is a player safety element involved where those guys, their head's not going to be in the game when they go out there.
Right.
And there's going to be a differing level of competitiveness in that game, depending on play to play and who's in it, who's not focused. And that's dangerous for everybody involved. And then there's just the simple fact that, like, you should, based on what these players have seen and what they're going through mentally, do not make them go back and do their jobs. Imagine if you're at work and, like, a coworker passes out and you have to shock him back and give him CPR. Like, you're not in any position to go back and focus on your job later on that day. But so what we saw was the NFL, they struggled initially. You're right, Zach Taylor and Sean McDermott, all the credit to them for making the logical decision and for saying, hey, this is not something that we've normally seen, stopping the game from restarting it when it looked like it was going to. Then it sounds like the NFLPA got in touch with the teams and they worked their way with the NFL and discussed the fact that, like, this is not going to happen. So I'm not going to point fingers at Roger Goodell and say you're the bad guy for trying to restart this game. It might not have been his call, but it does speak just to, like, the natural flow of things in the NFL is when a player gets seriously hurt, even up to the point of them needing CPR on the field, the status quo is, okay, we're going to get this started in 5 minutes. That's what the on-site game officials tried to do. And I think you need to, like, take a step back and realize that it's not that serious.
Right. And it's also a great reminder in a terrible situation that it had to have, take this to remind everyone that these guys are all humans. And, like hearing about Damar Hamlin's mom coming down from the stands and trying to get to the ambulance, their relationship they have with each other as teammates, their families that are watching them and watching a game and saying, the next hit could be a catastrophic hit. And I don't think there's a school of thinking like, well, it's football, they signed up for it. Yeah, okay. We all know the dangers of football, but there's some really bad shit that can happen in football, and it's okay to take a step back and be like, let's make sure everyone's okay here, both, like you're saying, the mental health and Damar Hamlin in the hospital in critical condition right now. I don't think anyone's making the argument that, football's over. It's just it needed the necessary step back and the game to stop and be canceled to realize, like, this is something that is a one in, a million thing that happened that needs to be addressed accordingly. And it can't just be the regular show goes on, because you're right. Like the normal reaction of the NFL is always like, well, the show must go on. I mean, we played an entire season in COVID with games on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Like, we know that that's what the NFL, that's their protocol. The show must go on. But this is one of those situations where I'm happy the show didn't go on. And I'm happy that, the Bills players were able to stop playing. Some able to see, go to the hospital. I know Stephon Diggs went to the hospital. They were able to get home to their families, because at the end of the day, like, we're not, everyone knows this show. We try not to be serious ever, but this is a situation where it is like a step back situation and say, like, okay, these guys are humans and we need to reassess kind of how we look at the whole thing and give it its, like, time to heal.
Yeah, I think, first, I just want to clarify when I said it's not that serious. I'm obviously not talking about the injury. I'm talking about the sport of football compared to the guy that is injured. I want to make that clear. But so I think a lot of people found themselves in a state of, I guess they didn't have a direction to channel in any of their energy right after it happened, because we're so used to getting a thumbs up from a player that's being like put
Right.
into an ambulance, even when they're clearly not doing well. These, we see like movement. We're used to hearing the announcer say like he has movement in his extremities. I think everybody's waiting for an update from a reporter saying he's regained consciousness and like he's got a message for his team and for the fans. We were all waiting for that. We were waiting for the picture like we got from Christian Eriksen when he passed out, or he actually had cardiac arrest as well at the soccer game 2 years ago, where he puts a picture up from the hospital. We were all waiting for that, and when we didn't get any acknowledgement that like things were improving, we started to lash out, and we did see a little bit of that online, like looking for the bad guy. Okay, I can get mad at Skip Bayless, and that will make me feel better in this situation. But the reality is, I think everybody was kind of like wrestling with their own, a little bit of grief and also just a little bit of shock and trying to process what they just saw.
Yeah, and I don't blame people who get their initial reaction is let's get angry and witch hunt on the internet, because it's just no one knows how to deal with this. No one knows how to deal with a situation they've never seen before. So I don't think it's wrong. I think a lot of people probably woke up today being like, maybe trying to witch hunt the 3 or 4 bad tweets was not the correct way to use my energy. Maybe they didn't. I don't really care. It's just the whole thing is sad, and I really, really hope we get a good update soon. I know that, I would assume, I don't know what the NFL is going to do in terms of scheduling. It's not really relevant right now, but obviously that's a question a lot of people are asking. I'm sure it will happen in due time in the next day or two. The only other thing I wanted to say was just like Damar Hamlin, the guy, because it came out, his charitable, giving with the toy drive that has now reached, I think, $5.5 million. And all the stories about who he is and like how he's really a role model to kids in Pittsburgh. He grew up in Pennsylvania. He went to Pitt. He's a hero to a lot of these kids. He seemed like, the consummate just professional teammate, friend, son, brother, all these things. And it seems like, one of those things where instead of finding that anger online for who made a bad tweet, it should probably be focused more on like what an incredible human being Damar Hamlin is, and trying to help however that is. And you said it, I mean, before PFT, but like I think what was his uncle's quote that was really like profound?
I can look it up exactly here. And I think, let me do that because I don't want to get it wrong. It was a really,
look it up.
He said, this is Damar Hamlin's uncle, Dorian Glenn. He said, a lot of people don't get to see how loved they are while they're alive. So for him to have a situation where he could have been taken away and he has a chance to come back and see all that love that he got. And yeah, I mean, it's true. Like, we say give people their flowers, and most people don't get to ever see like all the lives that they've impacted and how much people truly care about them. But the truth is, everybody out there has a lot of people that care about him. And hopefully, and I hope I'm not reading too far into this, but it sounds like there's a little bit of progress being made as far as his health goes, and hopefully he'll be able to wake up and what an awesome moment that would be for him to get to see all the love that's been shown to him from strangers, friends. Bills Mafia has obviously stepped up big time. The organization, his teammates, like that would be an incredible moment for him. So I really, amongst other reasons, I really hope that he gets to experience that.
Yeah, and I hope he experiences it too, because it's just we love football. We really, really love football, and I think a lot of people love football, and it's been cool to see the outpouring of love for Damar Hamlin, both in Buffalo, nationwide, Cincinnati. Like the fans were, I think, were great on Monday Night Football. Some of the stories about making sure that his mom was able to get down to the field as quickly as possible, even though she wasn't credentialed, like all these things. So I don't know. It's just that's the positive side of seeing everyone kind of come together and use positive energy and hope that, everything turns out okay. That's, those are the moments that I look forward to be like, yeah, this is what's good in life. It's not someone's bad tweet. It's rejoicing in a great young man who hopefully can come out of this.
Yeah, 99% of people I actually think are awesome and wonderful and worth celebrating. There's one person in particular I wanted to talk about because I did get a couple DMs and I got a couple texts from some friends who happened to be at this game as well. I don't know who this lady was. She was part of the medical staff that was there. And the second he fell to the ground and he started to being attended to on the field, she recognized the severity of the situation, sprinted off, helped get the defibrillator onto the field, motioned for the ambulance, was kind of calling some shots, and started to grab the players from each team and pulled them into place to have them stand around Damar to give him a little bit of privacy in that moment when they started to do CPR on him, which is something that would have that would have it would have been traumatizing to everybody involved, and also he deserves he deserves to have the dignity of having privacy in a situation like that. And I don't know who she was. These people, I got 2 DMs and 2 texts from people that were there that just wanted to share that story. So I thought it was worth sharing on this show in case anybody knows who she was. Just absolutely great job by the medical staff to be able to spring into action that quickly.
Yeah, and last thing, and we're going to kick it to ourselves back in studio. We mentioned it with Pete Prisco, but knowing how to do CPR is pretty easy to take like an hour course. I mentioned it with Pete, but I did do a course when I had my son, and we had to do child CPR lesson and stuff like that. You never know. You never know when it could help someone, and there's heroes everywhere. So. If this is a moment that spurs a lot of people to go out and get certified in CPR, think about all the good that will happen from that. But at the end of the day, we know what type of podcast we are. We know that we're here to entertain people and not be super serious. We thought obviously this situation needed a little bit of a different tone to start the show. The rest of the show will be back in studio with everyone, back to our normal programming, because we know that people want to laugh and people want to think about something else. And maybe they're not even thinking about this, but thinking about something else that's going on in their life that's tough right now. So we know our role in the universe in that sense. So with that, let's kick it to ourselves back in studio. We got Pete Prisco, Max Duggan, and the 2022 Bonk List and Hot Seat Cool Throne. Okay, we're back in studio, and this show is brought to you by our friends at Pardon My Cheesesteak. It's a delivery and pickup only restaurant brand bringing you craveable cheesesteaks and loaded fries. Pardon My Cheesesteak is now available in hundreds of select locations nationwide, with new locations being added every week. Hank, you were cooking cheesesteaks at the Arizona Bowl.
Sure was.
Yeah.
Whipping them up.
Pardon My Cheesesteaks.
Shout out to everyone that came out.
Hell yes. Menu features 6-inch.
Kicking field goals, making cheesesteaks.
Yeah, you drilled that one.
Yeah.
Would
and
have been
also
good from 60
throwing the ball into the
inches.
hole. You got
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Balls and hole.
Yeah, balls and hole. Part of my cheesesteak menu features 6-inch, 12-inch classic cheesesteaks, Chipotle cheesesteaks, or buffalo chicken cheesesteaks, plus loaded fries and dessert brownie bites. Get lunch, dinner, or late night delivery, and they are open 7 days a week. Go to pardonmycheesesteak.com to learn more and order now on DoorDash, Uber Eats, Postmates, or Grubhub. Pardon My Cheesesteak, delicious cheesesteaks. You know what? And if you are on a diet, maybe get the Pardon My Cheesesteak. Don't eat the bread. Little keto.
Keto friendly.
Keto, baby.
Rip that meat out.
Hell yeah. Okay. Hank, start us off. Hot Seat Cool Throne.
My hot side is me, but I don't know that it's me. It's just something I wanted to, I've been thinking about for a while, and I want to talk with you guys about this. Non-cash tips.
Yeah.
Every single food service, I feel like I used to have an understanding of the unwritten rules of tipping, when you're supposed to tip, when you're not supposed to tip. But in today's day and age with technology, it seems like every single place you put a card, they ask for a tip.
Yep.
And it has thrown off my understanding of what is a tip and what's not a tip. And I also am woke about, I feel like if I'm tipping, like if I go to pick up food, I went to go pick up my lunch today, it asks for tip. I don't think that if I give, 20%, $2, $5, I don't think that's going to the person who made my food.
Right. Okay. So I've got,
and I just don't. I just want to get this out there because I don't want to be a Scrooge. But sometimes I do zero, and then I feel cheap.
Yeah.
But in my heart, I'm like, this is correct.
Yeah. It's definitely something that we're seeing more and more of, especially at places where essentially it's transactional. You pay money and then you get your thing and leave. I have a very simple system for handling this. My system is, if there's somebody next to me in line that can see if I'm leaving a tip or not, I leave a tip. and if there's not, I usually don't.
And then the report came out that
it's 100%
CBS
just to make, because I'd feel bad if the person behind me is like, oh shit, PFT's cheap.
Did you see what happened with CBS?
No.
They essentially, they ask you sometimes to round up, and it's a donation.
Yeah.
They basically pledged like $15 million to the whatever the corporation or the charity was. They pledged that. They used other people's money to fulfill that $15 million, which is fraud.
Yeah.
So that's in my head now too, where it's like, now I'm like, I don't even think, again, it's where I don't think if it's money going to the workers, that's one thing. I don't feel like it is.
I just do 15% every time, just so that like the transaction is nice, clean. We did this because it's usually.
But then, are you cheap? Is that cheap?
No, I don't
bad
think.
tipper?
No, I don't think. No, 15% on like takeout.
This is where I get thrown off.
Are you talking about like?
Yes, I'm talking about takeout.
You're talking about like walking into Five Guys, ordering a burger, 15%. That's what I do. Like I'm not eating there. I'm just taking it and going away. Yeah.
But 5 years ago, would you have tipped anything?
Yeah, so honestly, like if they give you an option and it's not at like a CVS, if it's at a CVS or like a grocery store where they do those donation things, I'm just convinced that the money doesn't actually go there, or like Hank's saying that it's actually going to go there from CVS and they're using us to refill what they're pledging. So my rule of thumb, I honestly just go like 20%.
Just saying, the only reason this has become a conversation is because that new Square iPad type devices that turns around. It actually became a TikTok trend, but it's just because certain, especially takeout places, use that type of payment system that has that tip option. Is why this has all been discussed. I don't think you're supposed to tip if you like pick up food.
I do. See, my rule is just if I pick up food, I do 15%. If I'm sitting down, it's 20% or more.
Yeah, I'm a good
like
tipper. I consider myself a good tipper, but I've been questioning myself when I go. I literally walk in, pick up the food, and then
think about it this way.
They ask me to tip, and I'm like, I don't.
Think about it this way.
What am I tipping you?
This is the way you got to think about all these things. Is the people working are probably not making a ton of money, and it's like if it's a $15 meal, and you're tipping 15%, that's like a couple bucks. What does that mean to you?
Right.
It's probably, if enough people do it, it means a lot to them.
Yeah, and
so if they get the money,
and if
they get the money,
if it's takeout, there's usually somebody that's responsible for like putting the entire meal together, packaging it up in the styrofoam and stuff. So it's not, you are getting service. It's just not coming to your table. It's just getting packaged up and put to a bag. So
I do delivery 20%, 25%.
I usually, if it's the same place I'd order from a lot, I go all the way to the right and I tip the most amount because I know that I'm probably going to see that person again.
Yeah.
Wait, but real quick, does that mean you guys tip at Chipotle?
If they,
I will give 15% at Chipotle.
I can be bullied into a tip at Chipotle. Yes.
Chipotle is exactly what I'm talking about. That's if it, like going to get a coffee, 15%. Get Chipotle, 15%.
Basically, if somebody asks me for money, I feel bad not giving them money.
I just hit the button.
We're on the same page here, Hank, right?
Yeah, we don't make 75 Ken episodes. It's a little different.
That's true. I'll give you one of my slurp juices.
Yeah, I'm down 5K.
Yeah.
Which, although that does cue into my cool throne. I have a couple. The first one was insane NBA stat lines. Donovan Mitchell, 71 points last night. Luka had that crazy 60-point triple-double a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
So that's, insane NBA stat lines are back. My other cool throne is actually me again. Darts Day, everyone remembers Darts Day back in June. The World Darts Federation, or whatever it's called, came to Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
A bunch of us went. It was awesome.
I had a great time. I would have had a great time.
I placed a bet, what I thought was a bet on that night's event.
Oh.
I put in two people, Van Gerwen, who's the GOAT, and then Michael Smith, who's also pretty good, but he was a much bigger underdog. Van Gerwen won the event, and I was like, yes, cash it, like plus 1,000 or something. It's just never cashed. It's been in my bet slip for the entire year, and it said the date that the finals were was January 1st. So I'm looking January 1st, like finally, like I'm trying to track like who's winning the championship. Like I'm trying to follow along what's going on, because like at no point was I ever sure when this was ending. It didn't end January 1st. It ended today, but the finals going on right now. Michael Van Gerwen and Michael Smith.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So guaranteed winner.
You're
and
sharp.
Right before
when did it start?
It started today, right there. I'm going to look at the clip after. I didn't get to watch it. It was literally right before we started recording. Van Gerwen was 1 dart away from getting a 9-darter. He missed on the 12, so 8 out of 9. Michael Smith comes right after him, 9-darter.
Wow.
Ooh.
Some are calling it the greatest hand of darts ever.
I am.
Wow.
I'm calling it the greatest hand. Isn't it an inning?
I don't know.
Yeah, I've done that before, Hank. In like 2012, I want to say, when there was the World Cup, or was it 2010 World Cup? I bet on cricket World Cup, and I had to wait like 5 months. And I was just like sitting there like, what the fuck?
It was June, and I've been looking every time I go into I'll be NFL Sunday, be looking at my bets, and it's like, well, maybe this Van Gerwen will hit plus 1,200.
Yep.
Yeah, you've pretty much already spent that money probably.
Yeah.
Like, how are you so good at betting darts?
I just handicapped it well.
Yeah.
I handicapped that event well, and then apparently they won the championship. I don't know.
Love it.
Damn.
Although, it said it ended January 1st. It's January 3rd right now, so I'm not even 100% positive that this is the end. But it has to be.
Is it like actually a cricket match where it's like 4 days long and you have to wait this long?
I really hope. I'll fall back on Friday.
Okay. All right. Who's your GOAT?
Van Gerwen's
Van
GOAT.
Gerwen,
Yeah,
Michael
too.
Smith, though, better odds, more money, so
You had to. Hungry dog.
I'm kind of
that
rooting for
always
him.
works out.
Yeah. Fuck you.
All right, PFT.
My hot seat is women.
Oh.
Women are on the hot seat because a study came out where they asked men and women of various ages what the chances would be that they could land an airplane, land an airliner if the pilot became incapacitated and they had to take over the cockpit with help from air traffic controllers so they could get on the radio. And less than 50% of women said that they could land an airliner, while 46% of men said that they could. So men are at 46%, and only 1 in 5 women say that they could land an airliner if they were to take over it.
Have a little faith in yourself.
Have confidence in
ladies.
yourself. These things are basically like it's.
You just press the land button.
You press autopilot and you talk to the people in the tower, and then you land the fucking plane. It's not that hard.
And if you don't land it, you just take it back up and come back around.
Yeah, it's in the air. You just keep flying it. So there's,
Throttle down.
there's lift, drag, and the other two, which are line. Anyways, I could land a fucking plane. It's not that hard. And so if anybody out there, I would actually, if Southwest Airlines did give me a jet and they let me try this, I would be able to land this plane.
Anyone with a jet out there?
Yeah. If you won a Pepsi challenge recently,
what do you think this poll would be for parallel parking?
What's that, Billy?
You're forgetting the first part.
What?
Landing gear.
Landing gear. You got to put the
the
wheels
important
down.
Billy,
That's the
you
important
fucking
one.
moron. That's the last thing that you do.
No, you got to put the landing gear
on
down.
final approach, you put the flaps down, then you put the gear down.
No, then you put the wheels down.
Sounds like you don't know how to
You
land a
don't,
plane.
Billy doesn't.
No, you
Billy
put
might
the
be a
wheels
woman.
down. Planes.
Billy might be a woman.
I put the wheels down first.
Okay, all right. Billy,
You don't know ball.
yeah, Billie Eilish
You're
over
a
there.
wheels up guy. I'm a wheels down guy.
No, whatever. I could land a plane is what I'm getting at, and I think everybody in the studio should be able to land a plane.
What do you call them, a one string?
What do you mean?
What's that thing when they land them on carriers?
Oh, third cable. I hit the third cable. Yeah. No, I wouldn't. Realistically, I don't think I would be able to land a plane on an aircraft carrier. But
First try.
not first try. But I do think, like, all joking aside, if I got behind the wheel or the stick of a 737, and I was able to talk to air traffic control, I honestly do believe that I would be able to land a plane.
I agree.
What about 747?
These things are all fly-by-wire. 747, I've never been in the cockpit of one of those, so I'm not sure.
Easier.
Airbus, probably.
Just give me an iPad. Auto. Like you just go right down.
Yeah, it's pretty simple stuff. It's not rocket science. It's air science.
When you guys were little kids, you know how they make you turn off your phones and stuff? I thought that it was because I didn't have a phone, but I had a Game Boy.
Yeah.
I thought it was because if I kept it on, I would be able to land the plane with my Game Boy.
You could.
That was just an all-time, like, we should do a whole, like, dumb shit we thought of. I think we did a Mount Rushmore of it. Like, I used to think my balls were Play-Doh when I was a little kid.
Yeah. I thought I was an elf.
Yeah.
When I was a child. Yeah.
Still?
Well,
No,
Oh.
I thought. I thought. It was because I had pointy ears.
That's, yeah.
why aren't I as tall as everyone else?
I had very shut the fuck up.
That must be a
must
living
be-
creature.
Hey,
I stopped.
PFT, can I get a cookie?
I stopped growing in 8th grade. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm 5'8". That's actually a pretty normal sized thing. Which
That
brings
is-
me.
You
yeah?
do. I have dropped you off at your house before. It was a big tree.
No, it's a giant shoe.
Keebler.
The bottom line is I could land an airplane, and I'd like women out there to have more confidence in themselves. So some people are like, "Oh,
You embolden
this
them.
just speaks to the irrational confidence of men." I think that women are just too humble.
Yeah,
You
they
could
are.
do it, ladies. You could land a
Absolutely.
plane. It's not that difficult.
Absolutely. Okay, your cool turn?
My cool throne is short kings, like myself, because elves. Because there was a post that came out in the New York Times. It was an article about why people need to start appreciating short kings more, and why being short is better for the future. So this author, Mara Altman, wrote an essay saying that not only do shorter people tend to live longer, but they're also crucial in conserving food and resources on her dying planet. The short are also inherent conservationists, which is more crucial than ever in this world of 8 billion. So basically, if we were 10% shorter, we would save 87 millions of tons of food per year, not to mention trillions of gallons of water, quadrillions of BTUs of energy, and millions of tons of trash. So it's truly the age of the short king.
Bill Gates wrote it.
It sounds like we're doing eugenics, but for tall people.
Yeah.
I don't think that any 5'9" person in power would ever try to eliminate people that he saw as undesirable, Billy. That's just not how we operate.
So short kings are back.
Short kings are back, and I am a self-hating short king at times because I do fully acknowledge the fact that, like, if you're under 5'9", you should not be in charge of a military. Mm-hmm. I think time and time again,
or a company,
we've learned that lesson that a country should not be run by a 5'3" man.
You shouldn't get to drive the car. You shouldn't get to be in company.
No, I've got pedal extenders.
What about planes?
Planes?
Yeah,
no,
they probably shouldn't fly planes.
No, that's for bosses, six and above.
So, anyways, all you tall people out there that think that you're so great just because you hit the genetic lottery, just know that you're slowly strangling the earth.
I don't think I'm great. I just know that
you're slowly strangling the earth.
Taller man more.
You're slowly destroying this planet that we love so much.
All right, my hot seat, I have two. The first one is Chris Sims. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Chris Sims is beefing with the SportsCenter Instagram account. So he got very, very upset.
Omar?
Chris, is that who runs it? Chris Sims had a take earlier this year that said there's just no way, talking about Jalen Hurts. He said there's just no way he's more valuable to his team than Mahomes, Burrow, or Allen. Those teams are not the same teams if they don't have them at a quarterback. If you put Gardner Minshew in for the Eagles, they'd still be really damn good. Gardner Minshew obviously started twice, lost twice. So SportsCenter keeps posting it over and over and over. And Chris Sims went on his podcast. He said, fuck you, SportsCenter Instagram, for putting it out there for a third time in 3 weeks. Like, fuck off. Like, really fuck off, ESPN SportsCenter. Do they not make content over there anymore? I mean, damn, stop jocking me, ESPN. Holy shit, give me a piece of your check. Invite me on SportsCenter, and let's have a fucking conversation. That might be a little bit of an overreaction.
Well, anytime you're getting into an actual, like, debate with a brand account, you're already losing. You're already losing at that point. Like, what are you expecting? SportsCenter is going to write back to you?
It's also just, if you're in this business, you're going to be wrong. How you handle being wrong is a pretty big testament to, like, who you are.
Well, I actually think that Chris Sims is doing the right thing in the wrong way, which is turning this into content for himself.
True.
And getting us to talk about Chris Sims.
True.
Beefing with the SportsCenter Instagram account.
Well, no,
but he's actually mad about it.
Right, he's very mad.
He's actually very mad online about it, where he should just be pretending to be mad online and then using this to get us to talk about him.
Yes. I hand up if Chris Sims is looking for haters. I did, during Thursday Night Football, Jets-Jaguars, retweet the tweet where he said Zach Wilson is. I see Patrick Mahomes. I see Patrick Mahomes. I see a lot of Patrick Mahomes in Zach Wilson. Mm-hmm. He's my number one quarterback this year.
Yeah,
I did retweet that.
Okay.
So if you're looking for anyone who's trying to jock you, hand up. I've jocked you, Chris Sims.
Got jocked.
It's fucking funny.
Isn't he?
It's like, if you get upset about old takes exposed, you shouldn't be in this business.
Isn't Chris Sims also a top button guy?
Yeah,
on the dress shirt.
All the way up.
At what point in life do you make the decision, I'm going to be the top button guy? Because you can't just, like, transition into it. It's not like the bow tie.
Yeah.
Where you phase out of that.
Yeah.
If you're a top button guy, I almost assume you have to be a top button guy from the jump. Once you go on TV the first time.
And I like Chris Sims. I know him personally, but Chris, I gotta maybe reach out to him and be like, dude, you can't let the ESPN Instagram account win.
Yeah. He should do, like, an informal version of his podcast where he takes the button down.
Yeah.
Or that's a segment.
I could also tell that this was brewing because he did text me a few months ago a little upset about my affiliation with Tuanon. So he and Florio do not like Tuanon. And so they're like, who's Tuanon? Trying to get the hard answers out of me.
Did they come back at? Is he showing, like, a victory parade right now?
Well, no, he's concussed.
Oh yeah, it's true.
So
you can't stun on that. Yeah.
My other hot seat is Dana White. That was bad.
Yeah.
You had that, Billy?
That was my hot seat.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts then?
He got bitch slapped.
Yeah, that wouldn't be my thought.
That's your takeaway from it?
My thought.
Is that he got slapped?
Yeah.
Billy, I can't believe you sometimes.
No, I think the other part was probably the takeaway. Yeah, if you missed the video, Dana White slapped his wife in public.
Billy.
Apologize, but also I just think that if you slap your wife in public, that
or in private.
Yeah, no, I'm saying if you slap your wife in public, it feels like you might be okay with slapping your wife all the time.
Yes. Yeah, that's not something that you do like you go out to the club.
It's like, today I just woke up and I was a wife slap guy.
You're surrounded by 100 people and you start hitting your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you said it was like alcohol, it's like a drunken word speaks sober thoughts thing where
bad.
You're doing that when you're really drunk.
Yeah, bad. Just don't hit women.
Yeah.
Very, very easy rule to live by.
Yeah.
Just straight up. Do not do it.
That Sean Connery interview went viral a couple days ago when Barbara Walters died, and she was like, "You said in an interview at one point that it's okay to hit your wife," and he was like, "Yeah, no, I stand by that."
Yeah,
and she was
slap
like,
him around.
She was like, "What?"
Yeah,
that's something that you fully expect a guy like that to be like, "No, actually, that was taken out of context, and it sounds really bad, but here's what I meant." But he like doubled down on it.
Yeah,
he's like, "No, it's true. It's
very
true."
bad, very bad. All right, my cool throne is Tulane football. Just want to give a shout out to Tulane football. What a fucking comeback against USC. Also an all-time stinking Riley. Like USC, this is the bed you made. He's a very good coach.
Yeah.
But his defense has never been good, and those things will happen. But Tulane has like some of the best colors in the country. They haven't been good in forever.
I love that logo too and the mascot.
Oh, it's so good. They left, I think it was like sometime in the 50s, they left the SEC for academics. And it's been all downhill since in terms of the football program. But they're back, 12-win season maybe? 11, 12-win season?
2-10 to, I think, 11-2.
I think it might be 12-2.
It's the biggest turnaround, I think, in college football history.
Yeah, Willie Fritz. Shout out Willie Fritz. And that was an awesome, fun game. I'm going to miss bowl season very much. It really is my favorite time to watch it. Also, anyone who had Illinois plus 3.5, my thoughts are for you, but you really shouldn't have bet against a dead coach game.
Yeah, that's on you.
Yeah.
At the end of the Tulane game, I love seeing the fans just like freak out because it was never in your expectation if you went to Tulane that you'd ever find yourself in a position like beating USC in a bowl game.
Yeah.
And the look on their faces of like, holy shit, we did it. That's the best part about college football.
Yes.
And there's some people saying that Oklahoma fans bitching about Lincoln Riley and using this as an opportunity to take a leak on him because he lost this bowl game is immature and beneath the people of Oklahoma. I think this is exactly what you should be doing.
Yeah.
Like, that's what
college football.
That's college football. If you're an Oklahoma Sooners fan, you should be the most petty person on earth and celebrate every single one of Lincoln Riley's failures.
Facts. The other thing about that game, I don't remember ever having a safety mean more. They were down 8 and they got a safety.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah.
Like, because usually safeties happen in weird score games or, defensive battles, or it will happen early, like, put a pin in that. It's literally just a 2-point conversion they got, and they got the ball back and scored and won.
Yeah. What do you think about this Mike Greenberg dumb rule? Safeties should be worth 4. Because the safeties are so hard to get.
I think
2 points is like it's like spitting in the face of the defense.
And they always stop the forward motion.
Yeah, so I was going to say,
that.
I think a safety should count as 4 if it's a clean sack of the quarterback in the end zone.
Okay, and if it's a holding in the end zone, it's 2 or 3.
Yeah, 2. I think 2. Like a holding in the end zone, 2. When the running back tries to run and he gets stopped, that should be 2. But a true old-fashioned sack in the end zone, because that doesn't really happen.
It doesn't. I would say, like, if you stop a running back cold in the end zone, that's 3.
Yeah.
That's in between.
I like it. Billy.
Just saying, I'm very against violence against women.
Thank you. Yeah,
so.
But you're also against dudes looking like bitches. It sounds like.
Yes.
Oh, Billy, come on.
No.
No, it was a bad joke. I'm really sorry. My cool throne, adventure.
What about your hot seat?
Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, he's on the hot seat.
He knows that was unspoken. My hot seat again is me for a thing that I said 5 seconds ago.
It's a wild video all around.
Wow,
by everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Everybody.
It's
Mostly
bad.
Dana White.
It is bad.
Yes, mostly
Bad.
Dana White.
Actually, almost all Dana White.
All Dana White.
Yeah,
He looks terrible
bad. Very
throughout
bad.
the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
My cool throne is adventure. There's a bunch of treasure in the East River.
Why are you
ancient treasure?
Okay, I love this. I love this for you, Billy. It sounds like a fun project that you can work on.
Like coins?
But why are you giving this all away?
Yeah.
If there's actually treasure there, why are you saying it on
Because it's already out there.
the sports podcast?
No,
already
but
out
dude,
there.
why would you do that? Here, I'll give you. You can bleep one thing from this show.
Okay.
You want to bleep that?
No. The treasure is on East 65th Street, next to the FDR Drive, in the water. And Donnie from Donnie Does, he's got a buddy with a boat, and we're gonna try to go get it.
Nice.
Okay, so
Donnie has swam across the East River.
So
why are you giving people the exact coordinates of this treasure?
it's already out there.
Okay, but you're amplifying the messages.
How do you know that it's there?
We don't know if it's there.
What is it exactly?
It's woolly mammoth bones, tusks, ivory,
really
worth
treasure.
millions.
To Billy, it's treasure.
Who is paying for?
Doesn't it?
that?
Once it's
worth
wet,
millions, bro.
But like who? Who do you sell it to?
Russians probably.
All right, so if there's actually woolly mammoth bones,
I mean,
in
that's
the
one of
East
those
River.
answers that's so dumb, but I kind of agree.
that was an answer from Billy that I know is wrong, but I just don't want to explore it any further.
I mean, no, but it makes sense. Russians would buy it.
What's the water? If it's in the river, isn't the water?
It's an estuary, so the tide does come in and out, and there has been many, generational gigantic hurricanes that have hit since they were dropped off in a long time ago.
So how did the bones get there?
What about like
They
all
were
of the
dumped
oil and gas from boats that come through constantly?
Okay, Greta. We're gonna go look for these bones. We're gonna throw on some wetsuits and go scuba diving or just free diving.
All right, so what are you going to do with them?
Once hopefully we find them,
Yeah.
then we get to go on Joe Rogan.
Okay.
Wait, Billy,
Nice.
I've got a tusk. I've got a woolly mammoth tusk I can give you.
Should we just fake we found a tusk?
And we should send it to the Russians.
Yeah, send it to the Russians.
No, let's put
Using
it-
your Russian connections.
Yeah.
I've got a molar too.
Wait, let's just pretend we found those in the East River, and then
No,
it'll be
I
the
you
greatest.
should go. You should
No,
go.
you should go.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, go.
Go.
And don't worry about like getting certified scuba or whatever.
Yeah.
Just jump in.
Don't
I
even
already know
use the
that.
scuba.
Yeah.
You just actually
Dude, I'm
hold
gonna
a
free
brick.
dive.
Yeah, hold
it's
a
only
brick.
it's only 15 feet. And
Right.
Then
Oh,
it hit,
yeah,
then
easy.
you hit sludge.
You know what you need to do is you need to tape.
And there's no
some-
way it's underneath the sludge.
Yeah.
It's going to be in the sludge. So I think we're going to get a big hook on the end of a line and then just drag it around the bottom.
Sounds like you've got this all planned
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, it's
Perfect.
and if anybody has a underwater drone that they would lend us, that
James
would be so-
Cameron.
Yeah. But or if anyone has some serious equipment that could actually help us find it in the East River, we're going to be coordinating this.
This is like
PFTV.
if James Cameron directed National Treasure, this is what you've gotten yourself into.
Yeah.
I like
Great
this.
director, great movie.
Let's go. Jake.
My hot seat is name mix-ups. So we have this PGA golfer named Scott Stallings.
Yes.
And a random guy named Scott Stallings was sent the invitation to participate in this year's Masters tournament. And he DM'd him and said, I think this is for you. Crazy.
all time good guy move. I
Yeah.
would have absolutely
Just
shown up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the range.
Like
Hey,
here's my letter.
Here's my
I am
invite.
playing. Yeah.
That's
So-
a classic golf fan too.
Yeah.
Like self-policing
yeah.
on
Respect
that
for
one.
the game.
Yeah.
Like you deserve to be in the
Scott
field.
Stallings has to get him tickets, right?
Yeah, has to.
Has to.
Has
If he
to. Or at
doesn't-
least caddy the par 3 if he doesn't have kids.
Oh, yeah.
If he doesn't
great.
have kids.
Yeah.
Follow
kids
up
get
on
the
that, please.
primary.
Make sure that Scott.
All right.
If he doesn't, I will skull fuck
Yeah.
the real Scott.
The golfer.
Yeah, the golfer.
Yeah.
What would you do, Jake, if that got sent to you?
Oh, I mean, DM right away.
Oh,
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
I'd be showing up.
I would probably kill the real Scott Stallings and just assume his identity entirely. You'd be like, listen, I've got the start right here.
Imagine he won.
How awesome would that be too if you showed up and they like actually let you play and you just posted like
Who is
through
the-
2 rounds?
Oh, is the
plus
fake-
250?
The fake Klay Thompson right at the finals.
Yeah, he
He's
got all the way on the
warming
court. He warmed up. Yeah.
Yeah. My other hot seat's March Madness. There's talks of expanding it to 90 teams today, which would be
I'm in.
not great.
I'm
no.
in. No, I'm in.
Why, more
I'm
games?
in. Yeah, I'm in.
I don't.
Fuck it. I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah, like okay, so
Some more games.
The downside, I get. It means a little bit less to get to the
You
tournament.
can go under 500 to make the tournament.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of bad teams in the tournament, but then on the flip side, way more games. So, yeah, I think I'm in. I think that's the part that I'm in on. Way more games. You get what, a whole other weekend?
Probably.
In. So in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, you might
I
have
know
me
that.
sold.
Listen, whenever these expansion things are
But
discussed,
this is a crazy expansion.
yeah, no, I know, but like even college football expansion or the NFL playoff expansion, MLB, every league is expanding, and I get the argument. Like, making the playoffs means less. You're going to have bad teams. But then when you start the playoffs, there's just more playoffs.
Right.
And that fucking rules.
Yeah, that week 1 campus site college football playoff set of games is going to be unreal.
Do you know what we need less of is the regular season. We need more playoffs in all things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Playoffs are the best.
I actually think that I'm going to hate the new March Madness. The bracket's going to look ugly as hell, and I'm going to despise it for the first year. And then after that first weekend, I'll be like, that. Honestly, that was good because it's just more sports.
They also, if they do it correctly, I think the way to do it would not to be make a 90 team bracket. It would be basically just an entire bracket of play-ins.
Yeah.
Because then it would then that's like, hey, you can make they're not really in the tournament yet, but those are still games you'd watch. Remember, what was the game? Was it Notre Dame? Who played Notre Dame in the play-in this year?
Oh, Rutgers. Sick game. Yeah.
Awesome game. And you play those Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Those higher seeded teams, though?
No, those were like 11 seeds. Yeah.
They're last 4 in.
That's what I'm saying. Just make it all the last, whatever. It'd be like the last 30 in.
Yeah, it's the last at-large ones that get in.
Yeah.
So the conference champions still get in no matter what.
Right. And it would just be fun to watch. Then you just put it, 5 games Monday, 5 games Tuesday, 5 games Wednesday, and then start the real tournament.
That sounds good to me.
Sounds great
so
to
I'm
me.
looking at a blank 90-team bracket right now. In this format, 38 teams would get a bye. I don't know how the math works out there, but the top 38 would be.
Does Wisconsin get a bye this year?
Yeah.
It's too many rules. It's
just top 25.
Yeah. So that's
okay. I just want to see where your bracket.
That's the one thing I don't like about this type of thing. It's new rules that I have to learn. And new procedures new details. My brain doesn't have any more space for being like, oh, it's 38 buys, and then this is how it reseeds once the different play-ins beat each other.
There's no reseeding.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know all that though. It's so nice to sit down, 64 teams, you play each other, and then boom, you get a champion.
I hear you, PFT, but more March Madness.
Yes, it's more games.
Yeah,
which is why I'm
March
saying
Madness.
I hate it now. And the bracket's going to piss me off. But then once we're actually in the thick of it, I'll be like, okay, more sports.
I need to just find someone. I think Rosillo doesn't like expanded playoffs. I need to just sit there and debate him, and he just makes this long-winded argument about how it makes the regular season cheap, and I'll just be like, but more March Madness.
Yeah.
And then I win because it's more March Madness,
so
no one would complain
we'll
about
see if that happens. My cool throw, Big Cat, we did it. Flex of the year.
Yes.
1-0 on our last one. Packers Lions. Thank you for convincing me.
Yep. They got a hard on for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and there are people saying that game might be irrelevant for the Lions if the Seahawks win, but the Aaron Rodgers button, like you said Saturday with the Mahomes button,
they know.
The superstars move the needle.
Move the needle, and I would say that the Lions, even if they are eliminated, of course,
they're going to want to eliminate their division rival.
Absolutely.
Sunday Night Football.
Finish over 500. The Lions are going to play hard no matter what.
Yeah.
I actually think the real strategy is if the Rams lose to the Seahawks, hammer the Lions, because that line will go up. Like, that line will go to 6, 7.
Yeah.
And the Lions are going to try very hard still.
Well, I'm trying to think what would be the most heartbreaking result for the Lions, because Lions fans will assume that that's what's going to happen. So would it be worse if the Seahawks win and then the Lions lose to the Packers?
No.
Or would it be worse if the Lions win? Or wait a second. If the Seahawks win, and then the Lions doesn't really matter at that point.
The worst outcome for the Lions would be the Seahawks winning a very tight, nail-biting game where, like, maybe the Rams are up all game and then the Seahawks win the game, and then the Lions absolutely obliterating the Packers.
They win too, and so it's like we did our job, but we just didn't get in.
Yeah.
Now, it's interesting because there's some draft pick ramifications too with the Rams.
Right.
So the Rams owe the Lions some draft picks for the Matthew Stafford trade, and so it's actually in the Lions' best interest in a weird way if the Rams lose this game.
Right. So they win no matter what.
They win no matter what. Yeah, it's actually maybe for the first time ever win-win for the Lions this weekend.
Good job, Lions.
So finishing this season with the flex of the year win. Now I know for next season, just always favor the superstars.
Always.
Yeah.
They just always.
And the Cowboys.
Think about it. The Saturday schedule, Jaguars-Titans, we knew were going to be in there because it's a win and get in. And then Saturday afternoon, they had to figure out a game. What's a game that doesn't mean anything, but every casual fan will tune in? The Mahomes button.
Yep.
It just works.
There we have it.
Okay. Let's get to Pete Prisco. PFT, you got a quick ad, and then we have one question with Max Duggan.
Yeah, before we get to Pete Prisco, the show is sponsored by BetterHelp. When you're at your best, you can do great things, but sometimes life gets you bogged down and you might feel overwhelmed, or you might feel like you're not showing up in the way that you want to. Working with a therapist can help you get closer to the best version of you, because when you feel empowered, you're more prepared to take on everything that life throws at you. If you're thinking of giving therapy a try, BetterHelp is a great option. I've been to therapy in the past. It helped me get through some loss in my life. It's a great option. It's convenient, it's flexible, it's affordable, it's entirely online. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. If you want to live a more empowered life, therapy can help you get there. Visit BetterHelp.com/PMT today. Get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/PMT. 10% off your first month. BetterHelp.com/PMT. And now here's Pete Prisco.
Okay, we now welcome on our very good friend. It is Pete Prisco. He's a senior NFL columnist at CBSSports.com, analyst for CBS Sports HQ. Pete, we talked about at the beginning of the show, obviously Monday Night Football, really, really sad thing that happened, and we all watched it and we're pretty shook. And we want to talk about other stuff because we don't want to repeat and just do an entire show about this one event. But you have covered football for a very long time. You've seen a lot of football games. Where was this kind of in terms of uncharted territory when you're watching it on Monday night?
It was terrifying. I mean, let's be real. It was terrifying. And you guys have been around long enough. You watch the game. You know when players react to it, you go, oh, my gosh, there's something really wrong here. And I remember there was a guy once who ran a play when he was with Jacksonville in training camp, and as soon as he ran the play, you heard, and all the players went, oh, my God, and they started running away, and you knew it was bad. But you've never seen anything like this. This was a man fighting for his life on the football field, and so it was terrifying. And we saw back in the day when I was a kid, I was 11 years old, Chuck Hughes died when he was playing. And, you remember that, and you say, oh, my gosh, it's terrible, and he had a heart attack on the football field. It wasn't because he got hit, although some people later disputed that, but he had a heart attack on the football field and died as well. So, look, terrifying, pit in your stomach. You hope the kid's okay. You pray for him, and then you go from there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it's true. And it's I think we all just sat there like in complete shock because it was I think the moment when they went to the Bills players and you saw guys in tears and you saw guys putting their hands over their mouth, you're like, players always know. Players always know before anyone else. It's just they know what a regular football hit looks like. They know what a regular injury looks like. They know what something very severe and bad looks like. And it was
they could play the game. There's no way you play that game. No
agreed.
way you play the game.
And do you have I'm kind of in a spot right now torn. I do think that the NFL is callous. We all know that. But I also think we sit on our couch being like, you got to stop the game. There's a lot of things that go into it. I don't know how the order of operations went down. It feels like Zach Taylor and Sean McDermott were the real heroes of being like, we're listening to our guys and we're not playing this game.
Yeah, but there's different reports of whether there is actually a 5-minute warm-up and then play the game. I find that highly unlikely, to be honest with you, but, you never know until all the details get ironed out. But here's the other thing. Your coaches, you have to take that on yourselves. These players could have just said, we're not playing. They're not going to play. It would have looked bad for the league. I think they ultimately got handled the right way. Now the question becomes, what do you do? I mean, that's an important game in the football sense of it. And sometimes you got to separate life and football, but that's an important game. Let's hope Damar Hamlin wakes up, comes out of this as soon as possible. He's fine. He moves on. And then they can play the game at some point. And when they play it, that's the tough part about it.
When Christian Eriksen, the soccer player, when he died on the field, he went into cardiac arrest. They suspended the game for a couple hours. He went to the hospital, and then I think there was a picture that was tweeted out, or he was responsive. He was, they gave him CPR, and he kind of returned to normal. And at that point, the teams agreed, okay, I guess we can retake the field and play the game right now. As long as Hamlin is in the situation that it seems like he's in right now, which is very much in limbo and you don't know what's going to happen, if he's in that situation, I don't know how you can ask the Bills to play.
Correct. I would agree with you 100%. If he's still unknown and his outcome is unknown, I don't know how you ask him to play either. One thing, though, thank gosh there's defibrillators on the sidelines in NFL stadiums, and this should be a message to all the high schools and everybody else out there. Get those on the sidelines. I mean, seriously, those kind of hits can happen all the time.
And this will be the last time we talk about it, but it's also a great message. Get CPR certified. It takes 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, not 2 seconds, but it really does. It's a low bar to go do it. It's a 1 hour class. I remember before my kids were born, I had to go do it just because you have to, you know what I mean? Like child CPR is different than adult CPR. And it's something, it's kind of like being a kidney or a organ donor on your license. Like you could save someone's life. You never know when that could happen. All right.
So like in those situations,
absolutely.
like it is true. It's cliche to say, but seconds do matter.
Oh yeah.
Like the difference between 30 seconds and a minute could be massive.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so
absolutely.
We'll transition to some other football because we do have Week 18 coming. I wanted to go back and I looked at your Super Bowl prediction. So let's start there. You had the Buffalo Bills over the Green Bay Packers. Are the Green Bay Packers still able to win the Super Bowl this year, Pete Prisco?
Yes, they are. And you know what? They're the team that nobody's going to want in the postseason. Everybody in the NFC playoffs right now is rooting for the Detroit Lions this week. They don't want Green Bay in there because Rodgers can get hot. The defense can take the ball away. They still have run defense issues, which is a major problem for them, but they can take the ball away. Their offensive line's getting healthy. Bakhtiari's back. Jenkins is back. They're healthy up front. The young wide receivers are growing up. Nobody wants them in the postseason. Yes, they can still go to the Super Bowl.
Oh, man. No, they're not good. Is there something to be said about like a team? I guess we've had the bottom seeds win Super Bowls.
I think the Green Bay Packers did.
Yeah, the Green Bay and the Ravens did, right?
I think Aaron Rodgers literally did that.
No, the Bears let him in the playoffs.
The Giants did it. The Giants have done it before. Teams get on the run and do that. Yeah, absolutely. You can do it. When he won the Super Bowl, Rodgers, he did it.
Yeah.
And he got as hot as possibly can be. And look, every year there's a team that comes from nowhere that shows up and makes a deep playoff push. And the Bengals, who thought the Bengals were going to make a deep playoff push, a Super Bowl push last year?
But, okay, all right. So my only counterpoint to it, and I know that, I obviously remember the year. That was the Randall Cobb year. Or no, that wasn't the Randall Cobb year. There's so many fucking tortured years. It was the Jay Cutler knee year in the NFC Championship. The Packers, like the Bengals last year is a good example. They beat the Chiefs, before the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, they were peaking. They were beating good teams. The Packers have beaten the Titans, the Dolphins with Tua issues.
No, they lost to the Titans.
Oh yeah, that's right. They lost to the Titans. So I mean, but they beat they haven't beaten unbelievable teams.
Beat the Cowboys.
Yeah,
they beat the Cowboys.
I have issues with the Cowboys. I'm just trying to grasp something.
They beat the Vikings. The Vikings.
The Vikings stink. You know the Vikings stink. You know deep down.
I'm with you. They're minus 19 point differential. They have 12 wins. That's incredible.
It is wild.
They beat Miami on the road.
They beat the Bears. Suck. They beat the Rams. Suck. They beat the Dolphins with Tua issues, and then they beat the Vikings. Those are the last 4 wins. Is there? Why are we saying that this is like they're peaking at the right time? Come on.
Well, okay. Okay, San Francisco. They're probably the best team in the NFC right now, right?
I'd agree.
You don't know what Purdy's going to do in the playoffs. You have no idea.
Okay. But I think the 49ers are built to the point where they can actually take that guy in a video game, like the 4th-string quarterback that you select, and it's just the silhouette of a gray head, and that guy's playing quarterback for you. The Niners can do, as long as that gray head doesn't turn the ball over, as long as that gray head doesn't throw 3 interceptions, I think the 49ers are built to the point where they could beat any team in the NFL. Because
they've won so many Super Bowls playing that way. They haven't won any. I mean, yeah, I get it. I mean, they could do it with Jimmy. They could do it with this guy. They could do it with Trey Lance. They haven't won it yet.
Ooh,
so there's always the possibility they can't win it. So I get what you're saying because that team is talented and that defense is nasty. And DeMeco Ryans is a great coach. And Kyle Shanahan's one of the best play callers, if not the best play caller in the NFL. But there's always the unknown. What if they're down 10 in the 4th quarter? Can Purdy take them back?
Christian McCaffrey will throw 3 touchdown passes.
Yeah,
it's halfback tosses.
It's a fair point. All right, so sticking in the NFC,
maybe
I don't care either way. But Max, our producer, is a big Eagles fan. I don't care about the Eagles at all. But to make him feel better,
well, as long as Hurt's back, they're tough to defend. I mean, it's a hard team to defend. It's a hard team to get ready for. If you got to beat them. If you say you win your divisional round, you got to play them in the championship game. It's hard to get ready for that style of offense in that short period of time. So it's going to be a challenge for anybody. They're different offense. Gardner Minshew's not a starting quarterback in the NFL. Anybody who keeps saying that is way off base. He's not. He's a backup quarterback. He's a good backup quarterback. But they're a different offense when Jalen Hurts is in the lineup. Not having Lane Johnson hurts, by the way. He got sacked 6 times last week. They were brutalized up front. That's not a good thing. And they have run defense issues, which is never a good thing. So is it easy to say they're the number 1 seed and they're going to go run through the NFC? Absolutely not.
Yeah. What about the Bucks? Tell me that, is Tom Brady, is he peaking at the right time? Is it going to be one of those things where he's going to host a playoff game? Like, I'll ask you this way. Out of the old guys in the NFC, who's more likely to go on a run right now, Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady?
Tom Brady, because he's at home. I think that matters. Everybody's sitting here saying the same exact thing, and we've said it all year. At some point, Tom Brady's going to look like Tom Brady. Well, last week he finally did. So what's going to happen in the first round of the playoffs? Who's going there? The Cowboys. And everybody's going to sit here and say, "Oh, there go the Cowboys. They're going to lose to Tom Brady because Tom Brady and his team has figured it out." What has happened is the offensive line has got guys back now. Wirfs is back. That's important for them. I think that show he can stand in there and make the throws. And Carolina, what were you doing leaving your corner in one-on-one situations over there the entire game with Mike Evans? You just abused him. It was a terrible plan. So, yeah, Tampa Bay can get on a roll. I don't think they're good enough to win it, but they can get a couple wins in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, I'm unfortunately starting to – I've thought the Bucs have been trash all year, and I'm starting to believe in them, especially if Ryan Jensen comes back, because that's really been – I've been a big believer that the Bucs defense has been good. It's their offensive line that has just made Tom Brady look as bad as possible all year long, and like everyone's out of sync, can't run the football. With Tristan Wirfs and Ryan Jensen possibly back, it's like, I don't know, maybe they will make a run.
You know what's great though? You said, "Oh, Tom Brady's peaking at the right time." Yeah, at the age of 46.
Yeah, he's peaking. He hasn't even peaked yet. It's
incredible. Whatever avocado ice cream or whatever the hell he puts in his body, we should all be eating that. But Lord knows we don't.
All right, so the AFC, I want to give you,
because I see your donuts every Saturday too. By the way,
I'm on a diet now, so I'm on a diet now. You're gonna
and welcome to my world.
You're gonna see me Super
we
Bowl.
All got we get victim.
Super Bowl. You're gonna see me.
I saw you guys are both gonna be ripped at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm back on the Peloton, Pete. I know that triggers you when I post my scores.
How long were you off of it?
2 years. About 2 years. I took a brief hiatus.
Okay, so when I see you at the Super Bowl, you're both going to be ripped?
Yeah, pretty much at the Super Bowl, like, don't worry about your laundry. You can just do it on my abs.
There's no conceivable way in that time frame you can make that happen. Zero.
Okay.
Zero.
I actually did earlier this morning, hand up, I Googled male liposuction abdominals cost. So it's in my price range. I might just go under the knife.
Yeah.
You know what it is? And I go see my doctor before every season, and I said, yeah, this is going to be the year. I'm not going to put on the 10 to 12 pounds I put on every year for fat ball season. And he goes, yeah, and okay, we'll make an appointment for you in March, and we'll see. And here it is in January, and here it is fat ball season. Okay,
you go to your doctor right before every season. That's such a football guy move. Like just a quick checkup, see how we're doing.
I do all my appointments. I do all my appointments before the season, and then you go back after the season, and he yells at you.
Yeah.
It's like a physical, getting ready for it, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. All right, so the AFC, I want to give you, not talking about the playoffs yet, I want to give you credit. I want to give you your soapbox. You have been right about Russell Wilson, especially this year. How good does it feel to have a lot of the nerds and stat boys who wanted Russ to cook? How good does this year feel for Pete Prisco and his long-standing take that he's a good quarterback, but he makes a lot of mistakes and his height is a detriment?
And his inability to move is now a detriment too. I mean, he's at points this season, he looked like one of us. I mean, he just doesn't move very well. And so that's the concern. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say he didn't have good years, because he did. But early in his career, best scoring defense in the league, 4 straight years. The only other team to do it was the 50s dynasty Browns. So that tells you how good they were on defense, and they could run the ball. He didn't have to do much. When he had to do stuff, they let him play loose, and he was free. And he did a nice job. He was a good quarterback. But that was all, getting outside the pocket, creating with his legs, going up tempo. And now I think we're seeing the results of not being able to move like he used to move. He's not good in the pocket. He's not making good, accurate throws. He's getting hit a bunch. His offensive line stinks. And it's all added up to a terrible quarterback. And now they're on the hook for it.
Yeah.
You think they have buyer's remorse? I mean, Pete Carroll should be coach of the year just for getting rid of him.
That's true.
Okay, yeah, I'll
like
give him my vote.
Take. Yeah.
Pete, so you do hate Russell Wilson. That's been established.
No, that's not true. I don't hate anybody.
No, you hate him. He's your arch enemy, but you defeated him.
I never was a fan of his game.
You won.
Put it that way.
You won the war though. Like long term, there were a few battles. You remained committed to it. You came out on top. Is there a way? You're also a capologist. You know a lot about the salary cap. Is there a way that Denver could move on from Russell Wilson if they wanted to?
Not for a couple of years. Absolutely not. No way. No way. It's too much money involved. Too much guaranteed money. There's no way. Zero.
What about a trade?
And so now
anybody?
Then they'd have to accelerate. They'd have to accelerate the cap, the remaining cap into the caps, the remaining bonus money into the cap. It's too much. And no, they're stuck with him.
What?
And that's the thing. If you get that job, that's your quarterback. You're stuck with him.
Yeah. So off of that, what coach wants that job? Who's gonna take that job?
Well, you got to figure it. Every coach has an ego. Every single one of them. I can fix him. I'll get in there. He's going to be I'm getting it back to Russell Wilson again. Or you can hire a guy like Jim Harbaugh and just have him turn around and hand the ball off 42 times a game in 1970s football. Yep. I mean, that's possible too, right? I mean, that is highly possible. There's talk that Harbaugh would be interested in that job.
Yeah, I could see Harbaugh going there. Harbaugh, I actually do think he would be the I can fix this man.
Oh yeah, what would Sean Payton be the I could fix this man? And knowing Sean pretty well, I think he wants his quarterback. Sean Payton's ideal quarterback would have been the guy with the Chargers, Justin Herbert. But the problem is they're not going to get rid of the coach there, so that job is out the window.
Yeah.
So you're a big Jacksonville guy. You're plugged in with the team for a long time. We're jagging off right now. It looks like the Jaguars. My best bet is that they're going to win this weekend. It feels like they've got all the momentum there. Would they actually be? Is this the best Jaguars team that we've seen since, 2017, Blake Bortles?
Yeah, it's better than that team because no offense to Blake Bortles, but Trevor Lawrence is better than Blake Bortles. I mean, he is. Yeah, you guys win. I mean, I love Blake. Blake's a great dude, but come on. Trevor Lawrence is going to be special. He's going to be a special quarterback. He's going to be one of the 5-6 best quarterbacks in this league. Maybe in a couple of years, he'll be 1, 2, or 3. That's how good he can be. And it's amazing what he's done. And by the way, let's make a case for Doug Peterson being coach of the year.
Okay.
Here's why. He had to exercise the demons of the moron that was in front of him. I mean, that's the worst coach in the history of the National Football League. Urban Meyer with his bullhorn and his sophomore high school ways. Give me a break. That thing was a disaster last year. Every week they paraded Trevor Lawrence out as a rookie quarterback to explain away the mess that was Urban Meyer. The kid handled it well. And now he's grown up. And Doug Peterson's a great play caller. Although he has 1 or 2 every game, and I pick on him because I say 1 or 2 every game where he gets into that, let's run the Philly special mode. And then he runs some stupid play like he had a reverse to a running back the other day where he had Trevor Lawrence as the lead blocker in a meaningless game against the Texans. I mean, there's one of those plays every single game. They're going to be – I'll tell you what, they're not that great on defense. They're getting better on defense. They're going to be a tough out because they can score.
So I agree with you. The Jaguars have been playing great football. Another team that I still can't wrap my head around it. I'd love to hear your take. The Chiefs. The Chiefs do feel like they're primed for a run, but they've also been letting teams hang around. And a lot of people are asking the question, has Patrick Mahomes even proved anything in this league? Because he's never won a road playoff game.
And look, he's proved a lot this year by what he's done with the offense without Tyreek Hill. I mean, they're just as good on offense as they've ever been. But I think they have defensive problems, and I think those show up. They do have a game record. You know, when you get to the postseason, every team needs a defensive game record, and they have Chris Jones. He can wreck a game. But the outside guys haven't been as effective as I thought they would be. So eventually you got to be able to knock that quarterback down from the edge, and I don't know if they're good enough to do that. That's a problem. I mean, at times this year they made Russell Wilson look good in a couple games. That's hard to do. So that tells you something about their defense. I'm worried about the defense, but they can score on anybody as well.
I'm worried about the special teams as well. It feels like they've had some, whether it be punt return or actual field goals. I'm a big believer in, we ignore special teams all year, and then it always comes up in the playoffs where it's like, oh, that's the game's on the margins. You make a mistake, guy fields a punt, within the 10-yard line, or fumbles one, miss a field goal, miss an extra point. That's how playoff games are decided.
Yeah, punt the ball out of bounds, kick the ball out of the end zone. Don't worry about any of that return crap. Come on, give me a break. Special teams. Stop.
See, you're doing it.
Damn kicks.
You're doing it.
Make your damn kicks. Yes. Make your damn kicks. That's all. It's your only damn job. Make your damn kicks. Like these kickers. Oh, look, he made his kick from 52. That's his damn job. Make your kick. If you go to practice, what do they do all day? They stand on the side and they kick and they kick and they kick and they work on the mechanism of the snap, the hold, the kick. And they kick, and they kick. Then they get in the games. You make your damn kick. It's your job. It's your only job. That. Make your kick.
You should be a special teams coordinator. Kick the ball out of bounds. Don't let that guy return it. Make your kicks.
Make your damn kicks.
As simple as that.
Yeah.
Extra point. Just lean in. Make sure nobody gets the edges and make the kick.
Just make it.
It's not that complicated. It's not a third. It's not a third of the game either. It's a great myth. It's about 14% of the game.
I don't.
No, it's
listen,
a third.
Listen. What about the Packers last year? That team had special teams issues all season long. And then it comes and bites him in the ass against the 49ers. What about the Bears with Cody Parkey? Like, you see teams all year where if you're a fan of that team and you're really dialed in, you're sitting there being like, the special teams feels a little off, and then it happens. And then you give up a
Okay, you mentioned
return.
Cody Parkey.
Yeah.
What was his problem? Didn't make his kicks.
I know, but I knew it all year long. I said it before the playoff. I was like, we're going to have a problem.
Should have made him.
You know, it's funny when you see a kickoff and you're watching a game and you go, okay, just boot it out of the end zone and go from there and let him play, right? But then you see, oh, no, he's going to hit a high one to about the 3-yard line and see if they can pin him in. Just kick it out of the end zone. You don't have to worry about it. It's not that complicated.
I agree.
It really isn't. If the Bills had done the right thing, in that playoff loss to the Chiefs, they would have been in the Super Bowl and probably would have won the Super Bowl. They didn't. They didn't, and they lost the game.
Yeah, no, it's a foolproof strategy. Honestly, just make your kicks and don't let the other team return your kicks for touchdowns.
Yeah, special teams coordinator Pete Prisco. I think there's a future here.
Punt the damn ball out of bounds, and you don't have to worry about it.
Just pin them deep. Just coffin corner it. And no, so it is. It's true though. Like it's not a third of the game, but it could. Bad special teams can completely wreck an otherwise good football team. So the 2010 Chargers, do you remember those guys? They had the best offense, number one offense in the NFL. They had the number one defense in the NFL. They didn't make the playoffs. That's how bad their special teams was.
Well, that's called chargering. That's what that's called because we've seen that over the course of their lifetime. They've chargered. They always seem to charger. It doesn't matter what it is, but they always seem to find a way, don't they?
But this year's different, right?
Yeah, this year different?
We're not going to charger.
You know what? I like their team. I really do. I think that quarterback is special. I think their defense has playmakers all over. You got Bosa back. They can attack the quarterback. Mack hasn't been as good this year. The offensive line's had some injuries, but those guys have played better. And, the receivers are back. When you have Williams and Keenan Allen, that's a problem. Think about week 1. Chargers at Jacksonville. That's probably what the game's going to be if they both win this week.
Yeah.
So tell me the Chargers, more or less, like if they're going up, if they're traveling to Jacksonville, you think the Chargers have a chance to beat them, or are you that high on your beloved Jaguars?
Oh, no, they have a chance to beat them, absolutely. Jacksonville whacked them early in the season, but they didn't have the receivers, and Herbert was playing with bad ribs. Remember, they went out there and just dominated them. I worry about Jacksonville's defense. I think, Herbert can stand back there and pick them apart. That might be one of those games, last one with the ball, 33-30, 2 quarterbacks shooting it out and see what happens, and that's what that game could be. That'll be fun to watch. And by the way, it'll be get ready for it because you can already schedule your game around. It's going to be at 4. The first game on Saturday will be Jacksonville Jaguars. I went back and looked. Since 2010, the AFC South champ or team has played in that spot every year except one. And the only time it didn't happen was when Carolina was 7-8-1 and they were playing in that spot.
Okay.
So Jacksonville, we guaranteed Jacksonville plays the first game in the wild card round.
Pete Prisco guarantee. I like that. They did set it up for the Jaguars to play Saturday night, so they could turn around and play Saturday again. Some of us
that's an advantage, by the way. They get a disadvantage this week because the Titans have 3 days rest, but they get an advantage if they win because the Chargers or whoever play on Sunday.
Yeah, so some of us are not lucky enough to have playoff teams, so I want to ask a draft question. The Bears look like, as long as they lose on Sunday, they'll have the number 2 pick. What would you do if you were Ryan Poles? And this is the first time I'm saying it out loud, so this is breaking news. I'm starting to get a little nervous that Ryan Poles, like I've seen some quotes where he's like, yeah, Justin Fields is an incredible runner, but he's got to get better as a passer. Is there a chance that they trade him? Okay, good.
No.
I don't want to.
0.
Okay.
0. No, and Justin Fields will get better as a passer.
Agreed.
Watch that. I do spinning top of the week every week. I take an offensive lineman or an offensive line, and I go through all the tape and I pick them out. And we make a little spinning top graphic and everything. And this week it's the Chicago Bears. Ooh, they were bad last week.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Yeah. They've been bad all year. Pass protection.
Riley Reef was terrible. The rookie left tackle, he's going to be a good player, Brandon Jones. He's going to be a good player. But, boy, I'll tell you what, they got beat up the other day, and that's a problem. So they got to get better on the offensive line, and they got to give him some weapons. I don't worry about him as a passer. I think he's going to end up being a good passer. Not a great passer. He's going to be a good passer, but his threat with his legs is going to make him a really good passer because they can't defend him the right way.
So what would you do with the second pick? Would you trade it? Would you figure out a way to package a deal and, knowing the quarterbacks that are coming up?
Well, if you could get a deal, I would do that. I don't think anybody – I'm not sure this quarterback group warrants going up to get somebody.
Oh.
I mean, if you break it down, Bryce Young is 5'9". I mean, 5'10". I love the way he throws the football, but can you take – he was standing next to Mark Ingram the other day, and he looked like the same size. Mark Ingram's 5'9". I mean, that's a little quarterback, and he's not a big guy. But boy, he can sling it. So I would probably take him first, or Levis, who had a bad year at Kentucky. You guys – got on the Josh Allen train. Mm-hmm. You're going to probably get on the Will Levis train.
We've already started.
Kind of
yeah. He's our friend. Yeah. He's a friend of the show. Yeah. So we're ready.
Right. So he can spin it. He had a bad year this year because his team stunk, his line stunk, his receiver stunk, and all he did was turn and hand off because he got hurt.
What do you have, 10.5 inch hands?
Last year he was outstanding.
Yeah, 10.5 inch hands.
Pretty good hands. So we measured him.
I mean, last year against Georgia, he was really good, and that defense was loaded with NFL players. And then you have C.J. Stroud, who had his best game in the big moment. I mean, he was fantastic the other day. So I think that – but I don't think there's a Trevor Lawrence in this draft or one of those guys. So I think that's concerned. So I don't think you'll trade down. Maybe you can. But Jalen Carter is a beast, man, from Georgia.
Yep.
That kid is a monster.
Okay.
I mean, Will Anderson is a possibility as well if you're the Bears. I mean, I think that's a strong possibility as well.
All right.
You need defensive help.
Yeah. We need everything. You need everything.
Yeah. Look at that defense the last couple of weeks. I mean, they've been awful.
No, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
We were just talking the other day about how there's usually one surprise coach that gets fired at the end of every season. We're trying to figure out who that could be, or maybe if there's multiples. Is there one guy whose name could be on the hot seat that isn't like the top of the list that everybody thinks could be fired?
This year, I don't see it. I mean, you guys have Kingsbury on that list, I would imagine. That's not a surprise. Goes. Who else did you have on the list? I mean,
Lovie Smith potentially.
Yeah, that's a potential. I mean, if they want to go, big splash, I could see them doing that. He actually did a good job with that team down the stretch because they don't have a ton of talent. How about Rivera?
Yeah, I think Rivera wanted to get fired. I don't understand exactly what's going on in D.C. right now. Snyder's in a tough position, though, because do you fire a head coach as you're in the process of selling a team, and then you're stuck where you have to maybe make a new hire as somebody's bidding on your franchise? It seems like a bad time, just in terms of logistics and financial stuff, to axe a coach. Am I way off on that?
No, you're not way off. And plus, if you axe him and pay him, you got to pay him, and then you hire another one, he's going to get paid, and the new ownership might not want him. That's what happened in Denver.
Yeah.
Nate Hackett was hired before the new ownership took over, so they're more apt to fire him. Now their new ownership has a ton of money, so it's easy to just say, "Hey, get rid of him, we'll pay him." See, and that's the trend nowadays. These owners now have so much money that they can fire guys and not really worry about the implications of it. I mean, that's the way it is. It's you think about it. He's going to be paying a coach for 4 more years. He's going to be paying 2 coaches for 4 years. Mm-hmm. They don't care. They have the cash to do it.
What about Stefanski in Cleveland?
I doubt it. I mean, come on. He played the whole year without a starting quarterback who they made that trade to go get, and he didn't play. So, no, I don't think so. I think he might – they might force him to change the way he plays on offense and make him play a little bit more up-tempo and throw the ball around a little more, but I don't think they're going to fire him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What about McCarthy? What does he have to do to stick around? Because it seems like this is the time of the year things heat up around Mike McCarthy. The expectation from Jerry Jones is to win, which is kind of ironic because they haven't really won since 95, 96. But that's the expectation. He says that's the expectation, is he wants a Super Bowl. McCarthy feels like he could be a guy that could make the playoffs if he loses first round, still get fired.
Which I think would be wrong, but it's possible. Look, Mike's a better coach than people give him credit for. I don't understand. The guy wins 11 games at least every year. And he had Aaron Rodgers. I get it. But still, he's a better coach than people give him credit for. That's one of those ones that has taken on a life of its own in the Twitter cult world. That's what that is. Oh, one guy says it, 2 say it, 4 say it, 8. And then everybody, yeah, they're right. Look, we all agree. Isn't that great on Twitter? That's what that is. That's exactly what that is.
But there's
Mike's a better coach than people give him credit for.
I do think he's a good coach, but I think that he's got big blind spots where every time he's in a big game, there's a moment where he either takes too long to make a decision or he makes just one completely baffling decision per game that ultimately ends up being a pretty big reason why they end up losing. So I think
I hate to tell you, they all do.
But when he does it,
when he does it, he's fatter. He looks fat. He looks really fat.
Yes, but I know. It takes one to know one. But no, think about it. You guys know too, by the way. No, he's a better coach to get credit for. They all make major mistakes. Give me a break. They all do. Is Belichick at fault for what happened against the Raiders a couple weeks ago? That's his responsibility. He's the coach. He did it. That's his fault.
It's Matt Patricia's, actually.
I do agree with that because it's the Belichick saying either you're coaching it or you're allowing it. And like that, that's a great saying. Yeah.
Why didn't he take a knee? Take a knee and go to overtime. If you're not going to throw a Hail Mary because you said you felt he couldn't reach the end zone, why didn't you take a knee? Because you're not going to rip a 60-yard, 55-yard run. Take the knee. All he did was subject his team to more problems. It's like at the end of a half, when a team gets the ball back with 30 seconds left, they're not going to try and go get points because that's not what they're going to do, but they hand it off anyways. What are you handing it off for? What's the point of that? All you can do is botch the handoff and somebody fumbles and they get the ball there. Stupid. They all make major mistakes, every one of them.
Except you. Just make your kicks. That's all you got to do.
No, I would make them too because in the heat of the moment, you're going to do it.
You would accidentally say, don't make this kick?
If it doinks off the upright and in, you're good. If it doinks off the upright and out, you're not. You're getting cut. So I would be just ready to grab. I always say it. I joke around. Choke him. I would do it. But.
All right. So one team we didn't talk about, and I think we're gonna probably not talk about the Bills and Bengals because there's just a lot in limbo right now. But the Ravens. What's going on with Lamar Jackson? Is there anything that's going on that's like maybe if he had a contract, would he be back? It's all very confusing because I think the Ravens, if Lamar Jackson is healthy, they are another team that you put in the category of teams that you don't want to play them because their defense is salty, and having Lamar is a game changer, obviously.
There's nothing in terms of – I wouldn't believe that. The kid's a competitor. He loves to compete. I don't think he would do that. I just, judge him by people I know and talk to. No, I would say no.
I'd agree.
So he's hurt.
Yeah.
He's hurt. So him not being in the lineup changes the whole dynamic of that team. I hope he gets back soon because it's fun to watch. But you know what? He wasn't playing that well either before he got hurt. Their passing game is limited. And when your passing game is limited, you have problems. And this is a passing league. And I think they haven't exactly built a great group of people around him. And I think that's hurt him. But again, you have to be able to throw the ball and you have to be able to throw it from the pocket. And he's a good pocket passer, but he doesn't have a lot of weapons. That's the problem.
Yeah, and I don't think he ever will in Baltimore. They are so committed to not having good wide receivers. It's honestly impressive at this point.
He wants Deshaun Watson's contract. I mean, nobody's giving out those fully guaranteed deals like that. They can't. I wouldn't do it. You think right now, if you ask the Browns, are they happy with the fully guaranteed contract and all the picks they traded to get Deshaun Watson after watching him the last 4 weeks? Are you happy with that? Because I don't think they are.
I think that's a wait and see. Yeah, I think you got to wait. You got to judge that next year.
Well, we know the Broncos aren't happy.
Yeah.
Are the Cardinals happy with their mega deal?
No,
probably not.
No, that's fair.
Are they happy they gave Cliff Kingsbury a mega deal? No.
I
mean, yeah, everybody rushes. See, like the Giants are in a situation now. What do you do with Daniel Jones?
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
I've been
tag him.
Yeah. Oh, you think tag him? Because I was gonna say I think Daniel Jones probably realizes that Dable has resurrected his career, and there might be a conversation there like, hey, we like you. We want you to be our quarterback. We're not going to give you a ton of guaranteed money. We're going to give you a fair deal, but this is the place that you have the best chance of succeeding. And maybe Daniel Jones realizes that, where it's mutually beneficial for both sides to figure out a deal that makes sense.
I wouldn't do that if I were Daniel Jones. Get your money. No, I mean, I'd like to stay here, but you're paying me. I mean, you're not going to – obviously he's not going to get one of those, $250 million deals, but he's got to get a deal that's fair to him. I mean, $20 million a year. I mean, something like that, 20-something million a year.
Couldn't you say that it works both ways in that situation where Daniel Jones is best suited playing for the Giants and he's more valuable to the Giants than he would be to another team on the open market? Like, what team is going to?
What if another team paid him $5 million more a year?
Do you really think that there's going to be like a lineup of teams that are trying to?
There's no value in that. You're never going to get that back. No, I would not do that.
So what about Lamar on the open market then? Like, the fact of the matter is, like, he is an MVP that could hit the open market, which, like, at the quarterback position never happens. There will be teams that get into a bidding war with each other. It might not be beneficial to give, like, I think you're right about Deshaun and about Kyler and some of the contracts. You immediately have buyer's remorse sometimes. And I wouldn't be surprised if a team had buyer's remorse right after they got Lamar if it comes to that. But at the same time, there's going to be a bidding war between multiple franchises. So it's probably going to get to a point where it is a lot of guaranteed money, just like those other contracts.
No, you're not going to fully guarantee. You can give him a lot of – they've offered him a lot of guaranteed money. They've offered him basically the Russell Wilson deal. He could get that deal if he wants it. He wants the Deshaun Watson deal from what I heard, and that they're not going to fully guarantee. The owners in this league don't want a fully guaranteed contract. They were all mad that they did that in the first place. So, he hasn't finished the season, right? I mean, that's a concern with him. Health is a concern when you're a quarterback. I love the kid. He should take the deal in Baltimore. It's a good deal. It's a fair deal. And you're not going to get fully guaranteed contract. The problem is he's negotiating his own deal. Mm-hmm. That's always an issue. That's a tough thing. I think I'm worth this. Well, we think you're worth that. How do you negotiate against him? You tell your star quarterback you're trying to sign him, but you have a little bit of flaw here, a little bit of flaw there. You leave the pocket too soon. You haven't been healthy enough. How do you sell him that when you're negotiating against him, when you're trying to sign him to a long-term deal? It's a tough negotiation. So I think ultimately they can tag him 2 years in a row, by the way. It would be a lot of cap hit, but they could do it.
That's a good point. I haven't heard a lot of people say that, but it's true that if you're the one that's doing the negotiation with your boss, they're going to have to tell you all the things they don't like about you as justification for not meeting your asking price, and then naturally that's gonna piss you off. Like, that's gonna make that working relationship a little bit worse hearing that.
Of course, and it's like, the agent can come tell you, but it's not the same as you hearing it, him looking you in the face and saying, "Hey, Lamar, we'd love to pay you $250 million, but this is why we're only going to pay you $245 because let's go back. We'll pop on the tape. Here you are, leaving 6 clean pockets when you should have stayed in there and hit the shot down the middle of the field." Nobody wants to hear that. It's a bad negotiation, and the Ravens are in a tough spot because if they take advantage of them, they look like the bad guy in the deal. So it really is a complex negotiation.
All right, so last question for me, Pete. Are you sticking with your Super Bowl prediction? Are you going Bills over Packers? I'll let you have a mulligan if you'd like.
I'm going to take the Bills and the 49ers.
Okay. You coward. You're an absolute coward.
I mean, they're going to have to go on the road 3 straight weeks. And think about it. They'll have to win. I mean, if they play the Vikings in week 1 at Minnesota, who you picking?
The Packers.
Okay. So then they would win that game, and they'd go play the 1 seed.
The Eagles.
They lose. That's not –
no. Yeah.
They probably lose, but that's not saying they can't win it. I think the 49ers are the team they don't want to play, the Packers.
Yes.
That's my –
Agreed.
Yeah. But we've seen that Mack truck run them over in the postseason a couple times.
Yeah.
All right, so if we got the Packers at the 49ers week 1 – let's drag you into the hatred that Vikings Twitter has for us right now.
Yeah.
I want you involved in that. Giants at the Vikings, opening round of the playoffs. Convince me that the Giants win that game.
They should have beat them 2 weeks ago. I mean, that was a game they should have won. There were key drop passes in that game for the Giants. Daniel Jones was outstanding that day. They should have won that game. And here's the other thing about the Giants. Those young pass rushers are starting to grow up. Thibodeau, who I thought was going to be the best pass rusher in that class, he's starting to show up now, and that's a problem. Postseason pass rushers. It's always been that. It always will be. 25 years ago, run it, play good run defense. Now it's passers and knock that guy down. And you got to go through every list. Who has a game record? on defense. You have to have a game record to succeed. You know, last year, everybody says, well, the Bengals, how'd they get there? Hendrickson was a game wrecker last year. He had, almost 20 sacks. You have to have a game record to win in the postseason.
I like it. Game wreckers. So you think the Vikings are frauds? Can we get you on record?
I've said that word before, and I heard it got back to them, and they weren't real happy about it.
Yeah.
Look, I've been you guys say I've been critical of Russell Wilson. I've been just as critical of Kirk Cousins. I think there's a glazed look that comes over his face, when in moments, and when it does, it's happening. And Rick Spielman, the former Vikings GM, works with us every Sunday. We're watching the games together, and I'll start going like this. I go, "There's the look, Rick. There it is. You can see it."
Yeah, you've done that like 12 times this season. They've won all those games. Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't win last Sunday.
That's true, but they do.
You know what I'll say?
Go ahead.
Before a game, I'll say, "Hey, Rick, this is a big game, and we know what Kirk Cousins' record is in a big game." Rick, it's not a big game. It's not a big game. And I go, "It's a big game." And there he was. I mean, look, do you guys trust him?
No. No, we get killed for it because, 12-4 is 12-4. You can't knock the fact that they have had a knack for winning these close games, and that does take a toughness. And Justin Jefferson is the best receiver in the NFL, but it's been our take all year. Like we know who Kirk Cousins is. He's a better than average quarterback, but he's not going to go win you a game like Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Brady, Rodgers, all these guys.
There's always the win with and the win because of quarterbacks, and he's a win with, not a win because of. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So you're on record.
The
Frauds.
AFC, by the way, the AFC is loaded with win because of quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's true. You could even throw Justin Herbert in there, the way he's been playing.
Herbert, Lawrence will be there. He's getting there. Allen, Mahomes, Burrow, win with.
Kenny Pickett.
Win because of, not win with.
Yeah.
I like Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett's got that. He's got a little Joe Burrow swagger to him,
Okay.
Little confident, cocky guy that believes in himself. I like Kenny Pickett.
Facts. We love Kenny Pickett. All right, well, Pete, thank you as always. Next time you see us, you won't even be able to recognize us. We'll wear name tags all Super Bowl week because that's how good of shape we'll be in.
I don't know if I'm going to wear a name. I'm going to be shirtless,
no conceivable way in 40 days that either one of you won't be the Michelin man when I see it.
You want to make a bet? You want to make a bet that you can see abs on us at the Super Bowl?
A, I really don't want to see your abs, but B, if there's no way. 40 days. It's 40 days. You're going to have abs in 40 days. Because right now, I don't see anything close to abs, nor do you see anything close to abs for me. I just lost my hands inside my stomach. It's just football season. You're guilty of it. You're going to go watch games. He's going to have donuts on Sunday. You're going to go Saturday. You're going to go watch games and have wings and beer and whatever.
Wrong.
It's just
I hate wings and beer. You're wrong. You're so wrong, Pete.
Something's going in there. Something's going in there.
I probably will still get donuts.
Me, I just admit it. I had pizza twice this week. I admit it.
Twice.
I started my diet today too.
Well, you're Italian.
I started my diet today too.
Your blood type's marinara.
You're gonna have I guarantee, Big Cat, you have donuts on Saturday.
Oh yeah.
Guaranteed. There's a box full.
It's cheat day. That's a cheat day. Do I not get a cheat day?
The problem with cheat day is cheat day runs into cheat week, and cheat week runs into cheat month, and you two are not going to have abs at the Super Bowl.
You're so wrong. I'm going to have abs. You still owe me a push-up contest. You've been welching on that one for about 7 years.
You wanted to get bombed and do it.
Yeah, I did. I want to drink a full Mad Dog and do a push-up contest. That challenge is still on the table, by the way, Pete. I'm pretty sure I could drink an entire Mad Dog and probably do twice as many push-ups as you.
And Pete,
right now you might be able to.
Pete, listen, we know you're Italian. You're a horny man just by nature. Don't try to kiss me when you see how good a shape I'm in, all right? Off limits.
I might send you a box of donuts every Tuesday just to keep it going. Because you know the drill, guys. If it's in front of you, you're going to put your hand in that box and eat it.
Nope.
Yeah, that's
not
what I
me.
always say.
Yeah, that's a horny Italian.
Okay, so what's your diet? What is your diet today? Let's hear it. What'd you eat today? I guarantee you ate something bad this morning for breakfast. Guaranteed.
No, I had 2 eggs and bacon, no carbs.
I had 1 piece of turkey jerky. So eat your words.
So you're on no carb diet.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can eat bacon and eggs and everything. All right, so you come in, maybe you will have some abs and you'll have arteries that are clogged like a rock. I mean, come on.
All right, Pete, you're the best, man. We appreciate it.
All right,
Thank you as always.
Thank you, Pete.
Super Bowl.
All right, see you at the Super Bowl.
Guys,
See you, man.
Care.
All right, thanks to Pete Prisco. Let's kick it to one question with the quarterback with Max Duggan. All right, one question with the quarterback time. We welcome on recurring guest, friend of the program, and soon to be playing in the national championship on Monday night. It is TCU quarterback Max Duggan. Max, congratulations, incredible game. We're moving on to the next game, but we're going to first do one question with you from everyone here. My question's very simple. 1 to 10, how much does the Hypnotoad help you guys out on the field?
10, absolutely. Yeah. If we didn't have it, I don't know if we would have had the season that we're having right now. Honestly,
It's magic, yeah.
The powers, the things that they talk about. I mean, kind of trippy, but it works.
Yeah, I mean, it's every time I see it, I'm like, well, that's that. There goes that game. Like TCU's got it.
If you weren't a believer before, you're damn sure a believer now.
Yes.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to be on the train now.
Yep. Okay, my question is, at this point, you're reaching the national championship game in college football. You're the quarterback of one of the teams. Are you the best red-headed college football player of all time?
Ooh, there are. Andy Dalton Andy Dalton went to TCU and he was a legend. So I mean, I don't know the other redheads that are around college football, but that might be a goal to kind of reach like those guys though. Andy is still kind of the legacy at TCU that I'm still trying to be like. So.
Right. He walked so that you could run. But I was going through the list earlier, and it's like you could maybe consider Carson Palmer to be a redheaded guy. Some people would say it's more of like a strawberry blonde type deal. I think if you win this game, there can be no more debate. You are him.
Yeah.
That'd be something special. Maybe we need to start getting more redheadeds, playing quarterback in college football and in the NFL.
Representation.
We're dying slowly, which is not good.
Who's actually a sneaky redhead? Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
He is.
So there you go. You got a couple out there. All right, Billy, go ahead.
What's up, Max? Reports on TikTok say that you're licking your fingers to get the frogs hornier.
If the report says that and it's helping us to win, I'm all about trying to get us to win. So if that's what it is, man, I'm going to keep it going.
Reports confirmed.
Reports confirmed.
Billy's about to drop some fire when it starts with reports from TikTok say.
Yeah, Hypnotoads getting licked
TikTok
up.
knows, apparently.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Jake.
Hey, Max, Jake Marsh, part of my Take podcast. Congratulations on reaching the national championship game. Similar to Big Cat's question, how much of a hot seat does your current mascot, the Super Frog, feel that he could be eventually replaced with the Hypnotoad moving forward?
I don't think Super Frog's on the hot seat. I think it's more like a brother, with the Hypnotoad. I think it's a very fun, entertaining cousin that you have. Yeah, that's always coming to the barbecues. I think that's kind of where we're at. No hot seat. Their Super Frog's not going anywhere.
Yeah, Dave did mention, because he was at the game, that he just got Hypnotoaded to death, and the TCU. I actually have experience from it from the 2011 Rose Bowl. Wisconsin versus TCU, Andy Dalton. You guys were just fucking doing the frogs in my face the whole time. I was like, get this fucking out of my face. I can't do anything
Frog
about
up.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, the frog's like the best hand sign or whatever you want to hand.
It really is.
It's good. I like to go wide with it. I like to make it the toad chode and give it a little bit of girth to it.
Well, that kind of looks like Tua.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, all right.
Be careful.
Yeah,
Be
be careful. All right, our Max.
Hey, Max here. Do you kind of wish you could have played in the Arizona Bowl instead of the college football playoffs?
I mean, I was watching it. It looked like a pretty fun time. Like, you have, Dan singing national anthem. I was watching the broadcast, Dave, Dan, Jake, you guys were doing awesome. Obviously, all the sideline interviews with Caleb, seemed like a pretty fun game to be a part of.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, I think I actually will say that Ohio is the true national champion, because that was
was a crazy ending. It was a crazy ending.
Greatest catch in college football history, some are saying.
Some are saying.
Yeah, some are saying. Memes, do you have a question?
What's your hand size?
Good question.
I have no idea.
Put it on. Yeah, let's see.
Hold
Put it up.
Can you hold a pen in it? Okay.
those are.
That's a question. I have a mouse.
Put a mouse. Oh yeah.
Okay, that's a pretty good hand.
I don't know. I don't think they're like giant. I don't. Hopefully they're not small though.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask a question because I already used my question. But if I were to ask another question, it would just be: are you able to hold on to a football in bad weather easily? But I didn't ask that.
Yeah, you didn't ask that.
Did not ask that. Without asking me, just thinking about the randomly, I think so. Obviously, playing in Iowa, you get a little bit of cold weather.
Yep.
True.
Okay.
True.
It's been all right though. I haven't had to use any gloves so far. So I mean, we'll see it. If I have to get to that point, but
maybe just tweet out a picture of you like eating lunch, holding a hot dog, and we can judge on that.
All right, that's fair.
Okay. All right. And then Max, do you have a question for us?
Okay. Yeah, for you guys. Okay. Right. What is the dream championship sporting event that you guys could go to and be at live? Like whether it's Masters, National Championship, Stanley Cup Finals, World Series, dream championship event that you guys go to.
Yeah. That's a good question.
I think it would be Bears winning a Super Bowl because that's obviously a losing game would be. The Super Bowl is the number one.
Super Bowl would be great. I was thinking if it was a Stanley Cup, someplace really fun, like maybe in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And then you go out and you party with the team, you drink from the cup. That seems like the best possible scenario if that could ever happen to me. Yeah. Oh my God, I would be so happy.
Masters would be pretty sick too.
It's coming down 18th green, Masters, Augusta.
If you have the front row,
on the glass, Stanley Cup, overtime 3-3, Game 7. Ooh.
I'm thinking about what would be the best games to be at. That Villanova buzzer beater would probably be up there, just because a buzzer beater is a buzzer beater to win a national championship or a buzzer beater win an NBA title. That would just be all time. A true buzzer beater.
It would be great, like a buzzer beater at the Olympics in basketball where the USA wins.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool because then you get the whole – actually, if the USA ever won a World Cup, that would be an incredible game to be at as well, but that will never happen. Or the Iditarod because then right after it's over, you just boop all the good boys.
Or Joe Carter, walk-off home run to win the World Series.
Yeah, that's pretty good too.
That would be –
there's a lot.
Anything that's the finale – yeah, the way to end the game, overtime goal to win a Stanley Cup. Okay. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Jake, Billy, what's your answer?
I would say probably Stanley Cup Game 7, on the glass, overtime. I don't know. There are a lot though. I don't know. I think that'd be kind of the most adrenaline rush ever.
SoFi Stadium maybe for the national championship, and maybe not to name names, but let's just say hypothetically Sonny Dykes is hey, my quarterback actually can run, and we have overtime, 4th and goal, let's use him and not use a running back here, something like that.
I think the best possible position would be under center as your team is winning a national championship, and you're putting one knee on the ground on the field. That would be a pretty good field.
Victory formation's best formation in football.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Max, best of luck. We're rooting for you.
I am.
Very much so. The dream season continues. Monday night, TCU versus Georgia. We appreciate it, man. And, good luck on Monday night. We'll be watching, obviously.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me on, and we didn't forget about that pizza party. Hopefully we get a win. And
that's right. Yeah,
I got a couple tweets.
I got a couple
tweets being you're about to have to give a big pizza party.
Yeah, that's gonna be shit.
That's a lot of pizza.
That's probably $10,000 worth of pizza that we gotta buy.
I will absolutely.
Listen, I'm a man of my word when it comes to this. Is what happens all the time on this show is we just get really into things. For a while we just suspended people left and right until it got out of hand. Now we're just obsessed with pizza parties. So this would be a fitting ending to this new kick.
It's also, look, we'll see what happens in the game, but there's a way for the pizza party to pay for itself.
True.
We're going to try to make something work for y'all.
All right. Okay.
I can deliver them and make sure they get there.
Nope, Billy's not allowed to deliver them. We'll have Jake come and deliver them. He'll just be looking all across the campus to find a toad to fuck. Be where are these toads? I need these toads. All right, thank you, Max, and hopefully we'll see you for the pizza party.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all.
Okay, we're rooting for Max. We do have to. Do we ever figure out how much pizza?
We're thinking it's going to be something like $4,000 worth of pizza. That's not. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, we listened back. I believe it was 150 pizzas.
150 to 200 pizzas.
Something like that.
Hand deliver? We said we were going to hand deliver?
We didn't say that. I don't think.
So we all right.
I got to double check.
All right.
But yeah.
We'll get
around that number.
I'm rooting for TCU. Are you ready, Hank? So everyone who's been listening to this show for a long time, we had a period of time.
It started at 1-2.
Okay, so
it's been a year.
Oh, so it's been exactly a year. We had a period of time where we were bonking each other. It got out of hand. We decided that Hank is going to just create a bonk list where he keeps track of all the bonks. And now that it's been a full year, he's ready to give it to us. So you're going to do this every year now.
Yeah, I think this year I'll do a better job keeping the notes because, I mean, I don't know. People are either going to be disappointed or think it's funny. I think some of them are funny, but some of them, there's just no context.
No context bonk.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, because, it's in the middle of the show. PFT, when I was talking about doing this the other day, PFT was like, I didn't think you actually kept the list.
Yeah, I stopped seeing you write stuff down after like a week.
Oh, I've seen him do it.
I assume you gave up.
Yeah, I know, though, if anyone else read the list, it would make no sense. And I don't think it makes sense to Hank.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Can I just look? Can I just take a look?
No, it's fine.
Okay,
I'm going to read exactly what I've written. It's not like there's a lot of, again, no context.
Okay, how many bonks total?
A lot.
So these are officially the horniest moments of PMT 2021.
And there's definitely some missings that people will get. I think people will probably be more upset. Whatever.
Can we do real bonks with the bonk stick?
No.
All
right. 1,
Billy,
2,
you can bonk me.
1, 2, 22. PFT brings up OBJ fisting a guy out of the clouds.
Yeah, it was actually a highlight where he tried to punch a guy in the butthole.
Yeah.
So I figured it was sports worthy to talk about.
I don't think we should try to defend these.
Okay, all right. No,
you
defense,
know what I mean?
No
Because
defense. That one I will defend though because it was in the context of a sports show. This is a sports podcast after all.
I think we should just enjoy the bonks.
And he loves shit. He loves poop.
Yeah.
1-4-22. Big Cat brings up Tristan Thompson's sex tape.
Yep, it's a good one. He's got a good stroke game.
On 1-7-22, someone said,
"Wait, what order are we going?" Wait, would you say one?
He's
that was
going right.
1-4.
Okay.
It was 1-7.
Sounds like we're pretty
It's gonna
horny
take
on this
forever.
show. Yeah.
No, it gets less than
All
it's
right.
I kind of eased up. 1-7-22. Someone said it's going to be a soft opening, and PFT said that's the best kind of opening.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. What you want like a metal gate?
On 1-10, again, context. I just wrote turning my COVID diagnosis into a love story with AOC, and it's with a PFT tweet. Okay, here it is. I said, I have COVID. 1-10-22. PFT said, so does AOC.
Ooh.
Okay.
1-18-22. Big Cat tells Braxton Berrios he's a good-looking dude.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I stand by that. He's a hot dude. He's a hot body.
Also on 1-18-22, PFT and Big Cat both say they want to fuck queso.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That stands. These are good ones.
Might have been in the context of an FMK, maybe. But yeah, regardless, I would have sex with queso.
No, see that I wouldn't put that on the bonk list if it's an FMK.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, I'm standing by all my.
I would
bonks.
fuck queso. Yeah.
2-9-22. PFT likes an Adidas tweet that was just a bunch of tits.
Yeah,
I remember that.
That was a good tweet. It's one of my favorites.
2-10-22. PFT followed every person named Brandy on Instagram just in case one of them was Coach O's wife.
Oh, okay. Just doing some investigative research.
That one's made up. I never did that.
Why would I write this down?
You might have done that.
You might have said you were going to do that.
You definitely said you were going to do that. That's how I got on the list.
I did. I never did that.
No, you might not have done it, but you said you were going to do it.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
2-25. PFT calls Brittany Renner a personal hero of his with Coach Prime.
Yeah.
Yep. That sounds right.
3-8. PFT asks all women to DM him if they are upset about Aaron Rodgers stealing their shine on International Women's Day.
Okay. Yeah.
3-13. Big Cat tells John Rothstein his wife is hot to his face and then tries to take her out on a date / wife swap. That was aggressive.
Yeah,
that was aggressive.
But John Rothstein deserves to be, it's full court press. If we want to do basketball terms, John, full court press.
3-22. PFT calls Meat Ranch a euphemism for cum.
Okay.
3-27. Big Cat calls Coach K's wife sexy, in quotes, when Nikki Krasevsky rolls up looking all hot. 327. PFT brings up a nip slip during the Oscars slap conversation.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Big Cat says he will skull fuck Tim Dillon. I think that was a tweet.
Oh, I was skull fuck for him. I will skull fuck for him.
Let's pull up the tweet. I did link the tweet.
I think he needed a skull fuck.
Yeah, no, he said, I will skull fuck Tim Dillon. Just say the word.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's a fucking a man situation.
Oh,
okay,
yeah, okay, yeah.
So I will skull fuck Tim Dillon.
Mm-hmm. I'm not his type, I don't think.
331, PFT says he wants to get slapped by a girl in New Orleans.
Yep.
Check.
42, this is where my reporting, maybe not the best. It doesn't have a name. It just says 42. Says he doesn't think Coach K's wife wears underwear. I'm going to go with Big Cat.
I don't know. That might be a PFT.
I think that was me.
I think that was PFT.
I remember that, yeah. She is a good-looking lady, though.
She's very hot.
Imagine how much he's tearing that up now that he's retired.
You know what? I think it was when she verbally, or sorry, not physically abused her grandkid, and I was like, damn.
Yeah, choke
I like
me.
the way she's doing that. Yeah.
47, PFT says the new MLB bases are really getting him going.
They're bigger. What can I say? They're thick as hell.
424, Big Cat says Luca has a wagon of an ass.
He does. He does. That's why he's good.
51, PFT says sometimes he randomly Google searches coaches' wives.
You want to know,
That's
right?
Internet 1.0.
You want to know.
57, PFT says he loves all moms on Mother's Day. 512, Big Cat mentioned boners when we talked about bones moving. Again, context, couldn't tell you.
Yep.
515, PFT says the Suns needed AJ Titties at halftime.
Yeah,
They did.
He's been hitting that AJ Titties button.
527, PFT says he hates teeth.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I think most people do, but yeah.
I could do without him.
531, I mean, yeah. 531, PFT says he wishes there was a boob in Top Gun.
That's my only criticism. Yeah. Should have been one nipple. That's all I wanted. Got everything else in there.
620, Big Cat says he can't wait for Batty South to come out.
Oh, yeah, that show. Yeah, you guys shamed me so hard. Remember I saw that preview? And they were, like, ripping each other's hair out of their head and just going absolutely crazy on each other. I never actually watched it. I'd like to put that on the bonk this year. I'm going to watch Batty South.
Callback, again, theme here. 622, Big Cat says Luka Doncic is a super attractive dude.
I like his, I like everything
vibe,
he's got going on. He's got the...
Dude, he dropped 60 the other night.
Yeah, he's got the ass. He's got the cool tattoos.
Accent.
Yeah, everything.
Drinking a beer before the game.
He's a fucking cool dude. He's a cool dude I'd like to spend some time with.
Get
to know a little better.
629. Big Cat says the phrase wild thing, and PFT tries to bonk him, but Big Cat says it's actually a bonk on him.
Okay. What was the wild thing?
Again,
you were thinking Wild Things.
The movie, yeah.
Yeah, so that is a bonk.
Do you want me to keep track this year with context?
Yeah.
I kind of like Hank's.
Well, no, you do
I'll
backup.
do a better job. Yeah, you do backup
Yeah.
context, so we can we'll have two sources.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be good because then.
But we don't have anything yet, right?
No.
No, we have not.
Well, you can put me on for future Batty South.
We'll try and do better with timestamps and make a video of everything.
Yes.
So. July 5th, Big Cat talks about siphoning gas.
I don't
That's
think
all
that's
I wrote.
I don't. I once siphoned gas in college, and I ended up drinking a lot of the gas for my moped.
Yeah, you got to suck it out with the hose.
But it comes out faster.
That's a bonk on Hank for thinking that was sexual. Big Cat was just trying to save money.
I was talking about a story how I tried to siphon gas when I needed some gas for my moped, and it comes out really fast, and I swallowed a lot of gasoline. You just like the image of a hose wrapped around my lips.
Listen, I'm
that's
just
a
reading
fact.
the list.
Hey,
Bonk on
Jake.
Hank.
Jake, put that on the bonk list for next year.
Yep.
Hank imagined Big Cat giving head to a hose.
To Hank's hose.
714, PFT mentions cam girls while going through a list of cams. When discussing Cam Smith and Cam Young in the Open.
Top G. Sorry for being a top G.
721, PFT says he wants a breakfast crunch wrap to choke him out with a dog leash and then throw him into an active volcano. Peg me with a frozen popsicle made of Baja Blast.
Nice.
And then parentheses, I wrote cosine.
Yeah, it's good. That's how good the crunch wrap is.
PFT 723. PFT says he wishes the Statue of Liberty was lower cut and had more cake in her cheeks.
Yep.
731. PFT says Jane Jetson was an absolute fox.
Okay.
It's fact.
731. Quote, I love when Jerry Jones inserts himself in any way. Big Cat, followed by Bonk by PFT, and then said that's a U bonk. So that another theme.
Yeah.
Disambiguation. Yeah.
Playing
PFT,
like a
731.
game of Pong with bonks.
Sometimes it's like a smell to delta. So in that case, Big Cat was probably not being horny.
Yeah, and you did.
And then
You just went. I think. Are we finding out that you might be the horniest on the podcast?
There's been a pretty.
We got time.
It's been going back and forth.
All right.
Big Cat says, now we just do hand jobs, get more people coming. When talking about how we don't say suck our dicks anymore.
Oh, okay, yeah.
8-9, Big Cat says he'll let Billy pee in his mouth in order to complete the food challenge.
Okay.
8-17, PFT says Zach Wilson's going to ball out versus the Lions because he knows Aiden Hutchinson's MILF mom will be in the stands. 9-1, Big Cat says he kind of likes the people who jerk off on trains.
I do. I mean, I think that they're just living their best life.
By the way, Jake's been making a disgusted face to every single one of these guys.
Is it good on 9-8?
I defend that.
Billy making his first appearance on the list. 9-8, Billy says he wants to be put in solitary confinement with just a dildo.
I don't remember.
Yeah, makes sense.
9/11 memes post a picture of Driscoll's huge ass.
On 9/11?
Yeah, Jeff Driscoll's huge ass.
Never forget.
He does love that picture.
He loves that picture.
Yeah.
I only see that picture from our account.
I know.
It's for people who don't know, it's Jeff Driscoll's huge ass, and it's wet, so you can kind of see through.
It's such a weird pic. Why did he post that on 9/11?
Yeah.
I don't know. 9/18, PFT says his throat is wide open and to shove it into Robert Saleh when talking about Jets win. That's the receipts.
Okay. Receipts. Yeah. Oh yeah, we gotta circle back on the receipts.
Actually, 10/16.
I gotta pick up a bunch of receipts now.
This is again 10/16. Big Cat and PFT say their mouths are wide open for Robert Saleh.
Okay.
10/16 again. Miss bad labeling here. I don't have the name. Choose your own adventure for who. Thought that my satirical Haley Bieber Selena Gomez was horny when it was just regular satire. Also not mad that he got called out for it. I'm going to say that's PFT.
That was me, yeah.
For sure.
I wasn't mad. You were right. You got that one right.
Yeah, that part's right.
I'm still not mad.
PFT says he would suck a dick to play in Billy McFarland's festival, 10/24.
Okay.
11/2, Big Cat mentions Pogs, and Billy thought he was talking about Pogs.
I remember that. I was talking about the fucking little game we played in like the late 90s with the... What were they? Just
milk
plastic caps? Yeah. And the slammers. And Billy was all horned up.
Protectile pogs.
11/17, PFT says Joe Burrow is way hotter than Kenny Pickett when they both have girl filters on.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then 12/28, Big Cat says he's ready to dong it up for the Arizona Bowl broadcast with the telestrator.
Oh, yeah.
That was the final bonk of the year.
Yeah.
And you got one in.
Yeah. I did.
That's
I
what
did
she
get a
said.
dong in. Yeah. All right. So... What was the final tally?
I think PFT ran away with it.
I would say I ran away with that. I'd say
it felt like it was 3-1 every time.
I think we've got a good. We're a red-blooded American male podcast.
Yeah, we got testosterone.
Yeah. Sorry for being masculine. We won't apologize for being guys.
Yeah.
You win the bonk.
All right, bonk.
Billy loves this fucking thing. All right.
I mean, I got it from Amazon. Yeah.
All right. I've been bonked.
Myself. All right. Good job, Hank. I think that's a great way of doing it. So we'll be better detailed going forward.
Me and I'll just give Jake my notes and he can what do you do?
Put them into a format?
What do you when you like search for a research
Wait,
paper?
did you just drop a bibliotech? Like the Spanish word?
Bibliography.
We're excited. We're excited.
Bibliography.
Yeah.
Biblioteca.
Biblioteca. Yeah, you put it in one of those
Library.
bibliotecas.
You can, donde está?
Put
bring
it here al
the list up.
baño. Biblioteca. Okay. Time for numbers. So, have you splashed the pot?
No, I thought we were doing Sundays.
No, well, we
putting
should
$20
at least
on
start
Sunday, right?
20. Yeah, $20 on Sunday. Well, let's start with everyone just owes $20 right now because it would have been Sunday.
I'll
Wait,
splash
don't give
the
me
pot.
this yet. Everyone just give 40 on
I'll
Sunday.
splash the pot for Friday, but I don't know that this counts for pot splashing.
Oh yeah, this counts.
It's only
No.
Sunday.
So you're not putting anything in here?
Not till Sunday. I thought we were doing Sunday.
Why not today? What
I
about
thought it was
today?
every
No,
day.
we last Sunday.
We didn't do it on
No,
Sunday.
it's once a week.
Okay, 20 makes sense.
Yeah.
I thought it was every time.
All right, if Hank's not good, I'll splash the pot for Hank.
All right.
All right,
great.
I'll splash a pot, but yeah, I'll
All
splash.
right,
Okay,
so
go
what's
ahead.
the
You
pot?
splash the pot.
The pot's at $120. Everyone owes $20. The pot's at $120. If they win, it's $240 because Hank will have to match. And you still are never going to get it.
And I'm going to splash it.
I hope he gets it right now. So bad.
17.
69.
23.
57.
20.
18. And to
57.
confirm, Sebastian, it's over.
Yeah, it's over.
Actually, I'd like to change mine to 54.
Yeah. All right. So what was your number, Hank?
54.
23.
Have you ever gotten this?
No.
Shout out Parker Titsworth. Gave me a jersey. Arizona Bowl star.
This is the first time I'm actually rooting for Hank. I think
It would be awesome. It'd be
It would
so
be
good if Hank
incredible. It is completely flipped on him. 57. It's sentimental to me. My friend of mine has brand new babies in his family, so I did the birthdays of both the babies. 27.
Oh, new.
Yes. Oh, now it's a now
race against time,
It's
man.
lottery ball versus Hank.
Man versus machine.
What do we have?
626 29. 27 has entered the chat.
Wait, so 6, 26, 29 is it?
Yep. So 97 of the 100 numbers have been picked. Wait, what's the thing again? If all 100 was
If
that
all,
thing?
if all 100 get picked before Hank, I think Hank should owe us money.
I think if all 100 get picked before Hank.
Or no, sorry,
Okay,
it wasn't that.
deal. Yeah, let's do that.
It was
No.
if
do that.
you did all 100 and everyone besides his number was last, you like. he
No,
had to
I
do
think
something.
what we should do is if the
Okay.
lottery ball machine picks every single number and Hank still hasn't gotten it right, we have to build a human-sized lottery ball machine and put Hank in it.
What if he just picks one of the numbers, though?
I've had so many people
Oh.
DMing me asking if 27 was in the thing.
Yeah.
Here they are.
Okay, I actually
Yeah.
think Hank should have to get a tattoo.
3 is no longer in.
Hank,
but
you should have to get a tattoo of the number that beats you. If this lottery, it should be like a lottery ball that you get tattooed on your body somewhere.
so 6,
Yes.
26, 29. 3
Yes.
numbers remaining.
You should have to get a tattoo, but you can't guess the number.
What if it's
I will.
If it's a
Don't.
29 ball, you should have to get an orange
Don't.
ping pong ball that says 29 on it.
Okay. So, you going to get a tattoo?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. If I don't guess. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess it also comes. Other people could guess the number first.
Sure.
Let's do one more.
Does it count?
Doesn't count?
Doesn't count. Hank, go ahead, guess. Just it
Does
doesn't
it count?
No. Yeah.
3.
51.
Should I tweet something that's never happened before just happened with the lottery ball? Everyone's gonna think.
People would be so mad.
All right.
All right, we'll see everyone Friday.
Love you guys.
Shout out Evan Lassiter. It's his birthday today, and he's currently battling the hospital. Former teammate. What up? And horned frogs are actually not frogs; they're lizards.